boys are going to bring the heat today.
As the leader of the Booner pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, and Lucas. It is Friday, April 18th, and it's our last ever full first round mock with the fellas later. And we got a lot to get to. I mean, we have Eric Vincent joining, talking Pistons, Daniel Jeremiah's big first round suggestion for the Lions, a player we really haven't talked much about to the Lions. We'll get to all that. But boys, it's Friday. The Pistons game's on tomorrow, and we're going to be live for it. So if you're watching at home, you're not going, unless you're not in New York or going to the game or whatever the hell you're doing, you're not at a bar, tune in. Come hang out with the fellas. We'll have a watch party. Boys will be dialed in. Probably Boone will probably hand out some parlay before the game. So be there. And I'm feeling good. Boone, you know what? We'll get it. It's all right. We're battling. The mic, we're battling.
No, listen, man. I'm going to be a little late tomorrow. I have some family affairs, but not an affair in the family.
We knew it.
Glad you clarified. Yeah.
I have something, but I'll probably be around. Probably the game starts at what? We'll probably be live. I think Caleb's going to start maybe at 5:30. I'll probably be around 6:30. I'll text a parlay so we have something for the boys. I'll cook something up. Yeah. We'll make sure something's happening. I'm dealing with another thing over here, boys. I'm dealing with the storm. One of those big ones again, like a tornado storm.
Yeah, apparently Caleb. So Caleb has no power.
He lives like 20 minutes from me. We're city by city here.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm an hour away from you, and I think I'm good.
We're a little bit more north, so like
I just went for a walk, bro. It's nice out. It's like 80 and sunny.
I mean, buddy, you're a state away, man. What are we doing?
No.
Oh, you're a whole state away, Klotzy. It's probably beautiful. Is blue skies?
Blue skies. Well, pink skies now. Nice sunset.
Yeah, there might be a storm tomorrow, but for the time being, Boone, you might get sucked away like in another tornado or something.
If it happens, it happens. It'd be sick if it happened on air.
Boone loves lightning strikes.
I keep seeing them. They're scary. I've always been worried. I think I don't know if it was like something that my parents told me just to like keep me not outside with thunder or lightning. I was told my mom was struck by lightning at like somehow, some way growing up when she was younger. So that's always just been in the back of my head.
Genetically, you're scared. It's like in your bones to be scared of storms.
For sure, dude. Like, I walk outside, I sprint to the car, hop in, close the door real quick, and then I sprint out of my car into the house as fast as I can.
Get in the car.
You do realize that I just looked this up. 40 million lightning strikes hit the ground a year, and less than 1 in a million is the odds. So less than
what
one.
About that between a shark attack?
Oh, it's way more
likely.
I don't mess with the ocean. I've already said that. Nope. I'm good. I'll go to the beach, hang out. I'm not getting in that water, man.
I'll go like waist high, but there's no way. Like once there could be a potential shark involved, even if it's a bull shark or like a stingray jellyfish, I'm with you.
Here's the thing. People get so, I mean, we get so, I mean, the earth is a beautiful place. There's a lot of species. We don't even know half the type of species that are in the ocean. And you're expecting me to go dive out there, scuba dive. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm out on all that.
You know how minuscule you are as a human when you enter those waters. You are nothing compared to.
Think about how deep though, like the sea, like that's just scary, bro.
They have like mountains underneath the water.
Yeah, I'm out on all of that, dude. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah, I'll stay on the boat.
You know what's crazy? I saw a video the other day. Do you know like those like shark cages you can go down and like view sharks and stuff? I saw a video the other day, and I think it happened within the last few weeks, of a shark, like a massive like great white shark getting in the cage. And they're like, it was like a tourist one. So it was like just a tourist in there. And they're like screaming, like trying. And then they're like, everyone's like, hop in and help them. And they're like, I'm not. Everyone's looking around like, I'm not hopping in.
Hell no.
Who's hopping in? And then the guy ended up living. Like the shark somehow like slithered its way out, jumped out. And then the guy just pops up and is like, whoa, that was crazy. Like, bro, imagine being a tourist and going on that.
Vacation over.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
I went to Cozumel a couple years ago on a cruise, and I got to pet, like, you got to go pet dolphins and stuff, but I got to do that in a pool. You know, like I didn't go in the ocean and pet no dolphin. I was doing that in call me whatever you want. I'll take whatever you want to call me, a wuss. You know, I'm cool with that. I'm not getting in the ocean. So tornadoes, like the fear of like thunderstorms to you, is like me with the ocean. I don't mess with it at all.
Listen,
lakes, I'm cool with. I love lakes.
No, even lakes give it.
I love lakes.
I think any water. I've had like
I don't mind lakes.
RIP to the people, but like I've had like in college, I had a friend that later on and I think passed away like in a lake. Like couldn't, like it was just like that stuff. I think just water in general sometimes really like
okay. So it's
just the water, like, and I get a cramp and I go under. Like even in a lake pool, someone can jump in.
Cramp in the water?
That happens. People get cramps and drown.
No, it is. I guess it
cramp up and you can't swim. And or something. If just something happens. What if like I don't know, medical? I don't know. There's just anything. But like in a pool, you can see them. They're like, go get the guy. In a lake or an ocean or a pond or something, you're not getting them. You're done. And that's a scary. That's I'm gonna tell you what. That's something that sits with me in the back of my head anytime I'm on a big, large thing of water.
Gotta wear you wear a life jacket. You know what I mean? Like if you're tubing, wear a life jacket, man. You know what I mean? I went tubing a bunch of times in the lake. It's great. But you wear a life jacket. You don't be that guy. I don't need no fucking life jacket. You're drinking, you get out there, and then next thing you know,
you're just gone.
Swimming with the fish.
I always wear if I'm tubing or something, I'm throwing a life jacket on for sure.
Yeah. You know what?
Covers up the big
nothing. Hey, I'm not gonna judge.
The barrel
covers up the keg. Yeah.
Get the floaties. You know, slip the floaties on, dude. You'll be all right.
I will make it clear. I'm not scared of thunderstorms or anything. I like thunderstorms. Like I don't think it's a bad thing. Like you know, you're hanging out watching a movie, thunderstorm going on. That's a good vibe. I'll tell you what. How about that? But what I'm saying is the fear of a tornado can pop up like boom, like that, and you're like, oh no, done. Scary. Hurricanes, you have time to get out. You have like a week. Hey, there's a hurricane coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, you should either prepare or leave. Oh, you got a week now. Oh, you got 5 days. You got 3 days. You got 2 days. There it is. Tornado, it's hey, you got 5 minutes. Figure it out.
Boone, tornado or earthquake?
Earthquake. Big earthquake, not a small earthquake. Big earthquake. But if we're talking about just no, I would rather have a tornado because I go in the basement. Big earthquakes are worse than tornadoes. But like a normal earthquake, like there was the one in Cali, I think it was like a 6.5. I don't think that was that bad. Like I could sit through that as long as nothing falls on me.
Cool. I ain't scared of that shit. No, yeah, earthquake.
Start shaking, but boys.
No.
That would be a crazy experience, man. I'll tell you what.
Hey, look, shout out Lex, dude.
Shout out Lex.
Hey, my woman's a fish, so she likes swimming in the ocean. All right, and we go back and forth about it. She likes swimming in the ocean. She would live in the ocean if she could.
So what you're saying is Lex is Dory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like the
Nemo.
No. I'm like the kid with the braces when they're with the fish. They grab the bag of the fish. I'm the braces. I don't
like pounding on the glass.
Yeah, pounding on the glass. That's me. That is me, man. Yeah, I saw it too. People bring up the bees, man. I mean, the bees. Like, hey, name me one person who enjoys bees before we move on. Like,
I don't care about
take on it. You want to come at me for my fear of bees? Who enjoys bees?
People, you need bees. Hefe.
I agree.
The world goes round because of bees. You like honey? Maybe not. A lot of people do. Okay.
I do like honey.
You like
Fun
flowers?
fact.
Need them.
They do work.
Wasps one of the,
are useless. Continue, Boone.
I was saying one of the hobbies that my grandma has taken on at the moment over the last couple of years is, I don't know, just out of nowhere, my grandma's gotten bee things. Like she's gotten her beekeepers, and she's got a suit and everything.
She got like the
she has like
or whatever, so they don't.
I think so. Yeah, and she has like an all like pink suit that she goes out and she like I'll go to her
That's
house,
dope.
which I'll be there Sunday, and I'll be like, hey, can I get some honey and jar of honey? And it's like her homemade bees.
That's actually cool. That's cool.
That's dope.
And she's like older, obviously, but like
Getting
that's
after
like
it.
that's
Yeah, no,
one of
she's getting-
her like hobbies that she has is a beekeeper. She lives in like the city too. She lives in downriver, so it's like she's like
got bees in there,
she
dude.
has bees. At the
Got like a
alien.
normal ass.
You need like a
backyard
permit
with
for that?
Swarm.
I
You
don't
need, like
think
a fucking
so.
permit for that, dude? Like
No, I
someone's
think
back-
I don't think so.
someone's backyard just got a bunch of
I mean,
bees.
I don't think bees are that wild. I don't think any of them are that bad. Like I feel like
Dude,
as
you
I've
know
gotten
what?
older,
Do you guys have cicada killers in Michigan?
yeah,
You ever
I've
oh,
came across
those
some of
things
those.
fucking hurt, dude. Oh my god, those are the worst.
Dude,
Hold on.
have you guys?
Break that down for me. Hold on. What is
They're
that?
like big hornets.
You
I
know,
think.
have you ever
Like,
seen like a lot of times it'll be like right off the side of sidewalks, it'll be a big mound of dirt. Like it looks like I don't know how to describe, and there'll be this big red wasp, and it's like it's almost
Huge.
like a hornet, but I don't know if they can fly. But dude, look up a cicada killer. You know what I'm talking about? They hurt so bad.
last story I have before we actually start talking to ball here. When I was growing up, boys, I was mowing the lawn, push mower, ran over. I think it's either wasp or hornets that have the nest underneath the ground.
I think those are
Ran-
hornets. Those.
Yeah, ran it over, got attacked, started getting bit. Held my hand on my neck because I got bit like 3 times,
Got
and there
one
was
in
like
your
2 or 3 of them in my hand, and just went to town on my hand and my neck. And I was
That's
probably
the
like
worst
middle
feeling.
school, bro, and I was like like running around the yard.
Well,
that
everyone
was-
has an experience. If you're afraid of something or like you hate something, you always have some experience. Like I walked into his bee's nest and I got lit up one time, and I think
Yeah.
ever since then I'm like, fuck these things, man. But you know what? All right, enough for the fear talk. That's a Friday show.
That's a good
Let's
start.
Let's get into some stuff here. Daniel Jeremiah. I love Daniel Jeremiah, man. One of my favorite. I mean, easily one of my favorite, especially during this time. Covers the NFL draft. Former scout. Does great stuff. And
Very
love
accurate mock too. Him
Yeah,
and like
ve-
Strager, like
very accurate.
I think Schrager is like I think he's been rated the last like 5 years. Like every year he has like they have like the media all across all media. They submit it into like a thing. I think he's been like the most accurate over the last like however many years. So we need to get
He's so
Schrager's on
connected.
at some point.
Drags.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's
ESPN now.
super
Fine guy.
connected. But Daniel Jeremiah went on Tim Twentyman's. You want to check that out, by the way, Detroit Lions on their channel. Tim Twentyman, he went on his, I believe, his show, and he talked about what he thinks the Lions should do. Basically, dream scenario for the Lions in the first round. So hear me out. Hear this out. All right, dream scenario. When I saw that, especially it's on SI.com, of course, you can go read it. Shout out to John McArew, he already wrote about it. But Daniel Jeremiah spoke about a dream scenario in the first round. And that player is Georgia's Jalen Walker. Yes.
Here we go.
He mentioned here, I have the quote I'm going to read. And he talked about, he says, and by the way, it's his 5th best prospect in his most recent rankings. And he writes, to give you the dream scenario, Jalen Walker, everyone freaks out because he's kind of a tweener. He starts to drop a little bit and gets outside the top 10. If I'm the Lions at that point in time, I might be willing to be ultra aggressive and throw him into our defensive mix. That would be the one scenario I could see if you saw a star that started to drop and they would be inclined to be aggressive to go get him. So I don't think I've seen Jalen Walker to the Lions. A lot of people talking about that, to be honest with you. So to hear
Not at
Daniel
all.
Jeremiah come out and be like, yeah, if I'm the Lions, I'm going up and getting Jalen Walker. And we know Jalen Walker in terms of his character. I think him the human being fits exactly like to a T what the Lions are looking for. Like character traits, football character, acumen, all that stuff. The thing that does scare me a little bit with Jalen Walker is the big thing of like what would he do? How would he play in the NFL? And I think the best case for him would be kind of, and you talked about this yesterday, Klotz, when you broke him down in your full first round mock draft, is him kind of playing that like Micah Parsons role where he he's rushing off the edge. He's not dropping back into coverage. It's not what he's doing. So he's a pass rusher, but I can see it if he's not the athlete Micah Parsons was, but I guess to call Micah kind of like that too. Micah's 6'3". He wasn't really coming out. He's a linebacker, and then now he's rushing the passer. Maybe there's a similar way for Jalen Walker there. But, man, to trade up, I don't know if I'm in love with that scenario. But, man, if you trade up and get Jalen Walker, I think a fair expectation would be he's going to be a legit dude. You know what I mean? That's safe to say. Mm-hmm. I'm not coming at Daniel Jeremiah's football IQ, but you guys know how I feel about Jalen Walker. I think he falls a little bit. I don't think he falls drastically. I just don't think he goes top 10 personally. But if he's falling and the Lions really like him and they go get him, I'd be happy. He fits a position of need. But again, there's probably other players that I'm bigger on that I would much rather have. But again, Brad Holmes is making that decision. And rightfully
Then
so.
who? Then Jalen Walker, you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess in terms of what I'm looking for, what I'd be excited for, I'm looking for a little bigger guy. He's 6'2". I've been consistent with that, though. I love Izaraku. I just, I think he's just a little smaller, but it's okay. They can still be good players.
You're not drafting them. It's just if you're looking for flaws, that'd be one of them.
Yeah, but the thing that does give me a little concern. And he's not the athlete like Micah, so it's hard to say.
Okay, yeah, Klotz, because I got you here for a minute because I feel like Jeff, and with all due respect, I think you might be the only one that I've heard talk negatively. Like you had him in your mock draft 1.0 falling into the 20s, if I remember correctly. So I think you're already a little down on him, which is fair. If that's how you feel about him, fair enough. But I still do think Jalen Walker, and this is where I think Daniel Jeremiah is coming from. And you see Klotz shaking his head. It's what this kid can do and his ceiling of what he can be.
What is going on, boys?
What is that?
I don't know what that just was. I was pulling up this. I don't know why. I was just pulling up film. I don't know why.
All right.
I don't know why I can press play and why I can't. Well, I don't know how I'm controlling. I can control.
I had this song playing earlier. I don't know why I played during this, but anyways, this is
how am I able to control this right now?
Don't know, Boone. It's all you though.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I think it's something to do where Jeff, to where you feel like he can only play you're gonna have to use him at Sam. You're gonna. I don't think that's the case, and I think his ceiling. I think as he just gets better and better and better in the NFL. I think you're hey, this kid's going to be good. It's just raw talent at the end of the day, in my opinion. And you could, in a year or two, or even a couple years down the line, you'll look back and be hey, that was a top 5 player in this draft class. To where Daniel Jeremiah and Brad just came into the media yesterday and spoke about it, how he just wants to get talented players. If he has a guy high on his board, he's not going to reach on a guy just because, he's too, he's fallen to us. No, he's going to get guys that he likes. I would have to think Jalen Walker's high on that list. I would. I think Klotz agrees. Daniel Jeremiah, I think it's just something where it is a need, whether you like the size or not. He's a football player that just goes he's got all the talent. He's got the ceiling. His floor is already there. And he can come in and if we're talking about an impact, most likely can make an impact. And it doesn't matter what your depth chart looks like with Derek Barnes or whatever. You bring a guy like that in. It's a guy to me that you can't pass on. I do like Daniel Jeremiah's point. I did it in my mock draft this week with the Lions. If there is a high-end edge rusher or a guy like Jalen Walker, a Mike Green, I could even argue a Mykel Williams, Donovan Izaraku that starts to fall, you become aggressive right away. Just because, in my opinion, they're higher up on my board than a lot of people. So I like the mindset of Daniel Jeremiah.
I would be all for it, for trading up for Jalen Walker, because I think he's somebody that, one, you just give to Kelvin Shepherd and it'll work out. Kelvin Shepherd will find a way to get him on the field. But it goes back to that conversation where, me personally, I don't think it's going to be possible, because I think Jalen Walker goes top 10. And if he slides past, I think once pick 6 goes, if it's Gentry, people are going to be looking for Jalen Walker because of the Jets. They can take Mbow, they can take Tyler Warren, but you could probably get those players later. But I think Jalen Walker goes somewhere in that top 10, as he should. If the Lions pull that trigger, that's somebody that, again, I see he's not going to be Micah Parsons immediately, but he's somebody who can bring that versatility in the NFL. What's going to get you more money is versatility, because it's so important, because this linebacker room's already full, but that edge room's a little bit questionable outside of Aiden Hutchinson. And we've seen this linebacker room pretty much outside of Jack Campbell, all have gotten hurt. Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, even depth with Malcolm Rodriguez. So if one of those guys go down, here comes a rookie in Jalen Walker, and he's somebody that can play off that edge with you, and you give you a true Sam or a Will linebacker, and you can just let Jack Campbell in the future stay at that Mike spot. So I think long-term and immediately, he's going to be a huge help. Like if you're going up against Jaden Daniels in an NFC playoff game, he's somebody that can see Jaden Daniels run outside the pocket.
Oh my gosh.
Down and be able to just shut it down immediately.
At a high level.
Yeah. And just so I understand like the inconsistencies there, but it's the same situation as Mykel Williams, where at least there's production. So he's not Shamar Stewart, and you can see him where it's just like, he jumps off the tape. Like when you watch Georgia's defense, Mykel Williams looks really good. Malachi Starks looks really good. But when you're just watching, you're like, who the hell is that guy? And it's Jalen Walker. And I think there's something to be said when you're around that elite company of that Georgia defense in the SEC, going up against Texas, going up against Bama, and you're going, who the hell is he? So if you like Jihad Campbell, not you, Jeff, I'm just saying in general, if you like the idea of Jihad Campbell, in my opinion, you should love the idea of having Jalen Walker on this team as well, because he gives you like a true edge rushing presence down the road.
I would say Jalen Walker, and maybe, I mean, people probably disagree, but I would say he's probably that next tier up when you talk about potential in the NFL than Jihad. Like I think Jihad is going to be good, but I just think Jalen Walker, you're bringing him in, you're getting, but he has a chance to take that next step. And like Claude said, right away, you're not going to get a Micah Parsons. Like that's not what you need. And like, that's not the worry, but the pure talent's there. And it's like, imagine, I think about like, if you have a Jalen Walker on your team and you're talking about like those NASCAR packages that they love on the third downs when typically it was James Houston, Jalen Walker is 100 times better than James Houston. And if people loved James Houston, you're going to fall in love even more with Jalen Walker if you bring him on this team. And he's a guy to work in. You could play him in the same spot. At the end of the day, he's small, but he's a football player. So if you needed him on a second down to come off the edge and maybe try and stop the run, he maybe needs to get bigger and put some weight on. I don't know, but you could still trust him because it's the argument that's made all the time. Like you want to keep your best players on the field. And he would be one of those guys where like, we're going to find a way to get him on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Lions or the Bears, real quick. Like the thing that bothers me with this defense a lot is when there's screen passes, and we've seen it so many times. There'll be a screen pass, a pitch, and you'll have like a defensive end or a linebacker in open space with a running back, and it's a missed tackle. I think like if you added Jalen Walker, there's so many plays that are made behind the line of scrimmage that are usually plays that are made after contact with this team that have been consistently. That was the last one.
I wouldn't be mad if they traded up and got him. I think for projection wise, like I think Jihad, I know I don't know if the gap's massive between those two players, or even big, because I think Jihad can get off the edge. Maybe not as good as Jalen, but Jihad can also cover. You know what I mean? He can do a little bit of both, and you can get him at 28. You know what I mean? If you're trading up like 15 spots to get Jalen Walker, that comes with expectations, bigger expectations, of course. Like, you're a top 15 pick. We trade up all that time. Like J-Mo, look at J-Mo. You trade up to get him. He's a pretty damn good player. So, I would be intrigued by it. The only thing that does scare me, like I said, is just it's just, I guess, how you'd use them, which they'll have a plan for it. It's just if you're 6'2", you're going to come off the edge situationally, and then maybe at times you maybe play that same spot. He's 6'2", 240, 245. So he's not like a every down. He's not playing like edge for you like that, but he'll play linebacker. There'll be spots for him. I guess ideally for me, it's just me. I when I think of drafting an edge, I'm thinking of like, and you could still get them. I mean, Jordan, like Birch, like these 6'5", 6'6", every down dudes that are good against the run, can rush the passer. Like, I guess that's how I idealistically am thinking about it, but I'm not going to be upset. I don't want to sit here and, crap on the guy. Like, he's not going to be good. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that sounds like what you're doing.
Yeah, no, he'll stink.
No, I think the thing with Jalen Walker, like the reason Jihad's not getting there's not the conversation of him going in the top 10 as Jalen Walker is, I think it comes down to that potential, like what he can turn into and like what he can. Yeah. And I think there's a little bit of a difference from Jihad's ceiling to Jalen Walker's. And I think people can see that. And if you watch the film, you're like, Jihad's very good, and he's going to be good in the NFL. But you see some spurs of Jalen Walker. You saw in the video there that Klotz brought up, like
just on the ball. Like when you look at Jalen Walker's strength, it's on the ball. Jihad Campbell's strength is off the ball. So the value there is just different, in my opinion.
It's a different type, and it's a different ceiling, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think for that situation, if the Lions are trading up, if they believe, I mean, Jalen Walker fits. It does make sense to why maybe there's a chance the Lions are going to really like the guy. I mean, I'm not saying I'm surprised by that, right? Coming from Georgia, the player, I think he was a 5-star recruit coming out. Like, he's got the accolades. He's the type of caliber of player. He checks everything, all the boxes. He's one of the only few Georgia players that don't get these DUIs or get in trouble. So he's a good dude. I don't know. Maybe teams will draft him just on like everything combined. He's just like a type of player that, like, if you draft him, you'll have a good football player. It doesn't have to be. You're not worried about like this massive upside. He could hit it, but it's like at the very least you're getting a good football player that's just going to rush the quarterback, make plays in the backfield. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Mel and Field had their 3-round mock here, and they didn't go with Jalen Walker, but they went with another pick at 28. They didn't trade up to get him. And I have thoughts on this player now that we're getting closer because I have mixed opinions. But at 28, they stayed put. They stayed put, and they drafted Mykel Williams. All right, and Kuiper took this pick. He said, we talk a lot about the Lions' pass rush hole opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Let's fix it. Williams can beat blockers with his explosiveness, and he has even more upside for new Lions defensive coordinator Calvin Shepard to unlock. I would be cool. Like, this is kind of when I talk about bigger guy, like Mykel's big. He's big, good against the run. It's actually, I mean, if you look at him back at Georgia, he's really good against the run. He's not like this like explosive pass rusher. He's not getting like 8 sacks, 7 sacks a year. But he again fits exactly what the Lions want next to Aiden Hutchinson. Power guy, big. He's like a Davenport replacement, essentially. Not that he's Davenport.
Did you want to kick? I thought you froze.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one, Boone.
Yeah, no, I thought he froze. I'm sitting here looking at him. I was like,
I'm waiting for someone to talk here.
I thought you were going. You made a Davenport joke. I thought you were just continuing.
No, I said he's a Davenport replacement. Just he's not Davenport, of course.
Oh no, I mean Mykel, and as well, I'll throw this out there. Daniel Jeremiah, I know he said, "Hey, best opportunity for the Lions is to trade up for Jalen Walker." One thing we didn't throw up there is he also did his mock draft today and released it this morning, and he did not move up for the Lions, but what he did is stayed put at 28, and he also took Mykel Williams to the Detroit Lions. So this feels like it's just one of those things where he is like, to me. I said it a couple weeks ago. I was one of the first ones to say I'm taking him. I actually moved up, I think, to 22 and took Mykel Williams when he dropped. And there was really, at that time, there was no like conversation that he would ever be available at 28. And now the fact that there are like, hey, the board could fall this way. If you got Mykel Williams at 28, I personally, boys, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a guy that steps in right away and can give you that production. And I know we have those conversations about rookies, like who can come in and get you the sacks. Obviously, it's hard to get a rookie that will get you 8, 7 sacks. But I think of Mykel Williams, first year, you could say he steps in and he wreaks havoc. Like that. That's why I love him.
Yeah, I mean he's got some little bit of burst to him.
Yeah, that's what, like, when people talk about Mykel Williams being able to just be a game wrecker at the next level, like, he's not a tweener, but he has the athletic ability to do so many things, and he's a 4-3 guy. Jalen Walker, we just talking about. Jeff, you're right as far as like how does he fit? It's because he's like a 3-4 outside linebacker, like a TJ Watt. But Mykel Williams kind of has that Zadarius Smith build where you can say, hey, stop the run. I don't think he's somebody that you look at and he'd be like, hey, he's somebody that can give you 15 sacks in the future. But he's somebody that can give you 20 TFLs in a season, 10 sacks, and just constantly be a wreck at all 3 phases. He's a complete defensive end. When I look at Mykel Williams, you guys remember Preston Smith in Green Bay? He played for the Commanders. As a rookie, he had like 10 sacks, but he was good with Washington, came to the Packers, and it was Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith. And I think Zadarius Smith was better at getting the quarterback. Preston Smith was still good, but he's lights out against the run. Just physically, he fits what the Lions want in an edge rusher.
Where would he rank among the options? I mean, Mykel, if there was like Mykel, Shamar Stewart, Donovan Izaraku, like hypothetical world, you still going with Mykel?
Yeah, I think Mykel would probably be, you're talking about transitioning. Where would I rank him? I would have Abdul Carter.
Mike
I
and
think
then Mykel.
I like if you put Mykel Williams there, I don't think you're crazy. Just because he's so just fundamentally like he's just a defensive end. He's not a defensive tackle. He's not an outside linebacker. He's a defensive end. He's bigger than Izaraku. He's more clean and efficient than a guy like Shamar Stewart, James Pierce. He's much bigger than. Trying to think of other guys. But just as far as like, that's why I think the NFL like community is like on Jalen Walker and Mykel Williams. Like, I think they're much higher on them than people think. Like, I don't think there's a way Mykel Williams falls past 15 when you look at the guys that could be there. Like when you talk about BPA, after those top 6-7 guys go in the draft and the team doesn't need an offensive lineman or a skill player, like the Bears, the two guys they met with that were like kind of the consensus top guys defensive end wise were Shamar Stewart and Mykel Williams. I would not be surprised at all if Mykel Williams goes off the board 10th overall.
Yeah, he looks like a Raven too. Like if he's even there, seems like a type of pick the Ravens would just.
I hope Brad would move up if that's the case before that even can be an answer.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I like Mykel. I like him. I mean, there's guys. I love James Pierce. Mike Green, all those guys. But Mykel's right in that equation. He just fits what I'm looking for, man. He's big, every down guy, really good against the run. You saw some of those clips are doubling him. So that's like, I guess that's what I mean when it's not trying to slight these other players. It's just like, ideally, what you want: power, a little bit of speed, a little bit of explosiveness. Maybe he can get you 7-8 sacks when in a couple years, maybe next year, the following year, whatever. That's what you want, in my opinion. But I think Mykel is probably high on Brad's board too. He looks like a type of guy, and I think he had a little injury too. So
I don't know if did they meet with Mykel?
That's what I was just about to ask. I don't think so, or else we'd have been talking about it more. I feel like
probably not.
Think,
yeah,
I would think they met with Mykel.
It would have to be probably. I don't know if it was a top 30 either. They might have did at the combine.
I don't think it was at the combine.
The edges they met with is Josiah Stewart, Shamar Stewart. Is there a relation there?
I don't think so.
Didn't even think of that. Let's see. Mike Green they met with. Jack Sawyer they met with. Nick Scorton they met with. Jihad Campbell, linebacker though.
Nick Scorton.
They did meet with Nick Scorton. David Walker, Mel Kiper's guy.
Oh.
I could see him being a line in the third for sure.
Yeah, that's that looks like that's most of the like bigger edges that they've met with. Yeah, so I don't know if they did with Mykel, but either way I don't know. It's such a weird thing because they have met with most of their first round picks over the last few years, and that like
I'm with you. There's some
that's typically it's typically what you look at if who are the lines going to take, and when they don't meet with them, you start to think like, do they just not like them? Was their film not good? Did they go already visit them during the season and they just they're not high on our board? Like that's how I feel like. Why is Mike Green on there, but Mykel Williams isn't? Obviously, they didn't waste their time with Abdul Carter because they want to go that far up and he's going to be gone. But like, do they think Mykel goes top 10 and they're not going to even looking to go in top 10? Like it's just a weird.
Right.
I don't know because I think he would be a great fit. But if you took him out of the equation, like Mike Green, I just think those guys, Mike Green, Mykel, Donovan Izaraku, just those pure, just edge rushers, like you said, Jeff. Like if you come out of the draft in the first round on day one, and we're sitting there Thursday night finishing up the draft show, and we have one of those pure edge rushers, James Pierce, just I'm happy. Like I'm okay. I'm just interested to see if they reach it. If they stay at 28 and they reach, like what if they take a Jack Sawyer at 28? What if they take a Nick Scorton?
I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like it feels like Dan usually he took Jack Campbell in the teens, and like you said, Jeff, if Jack doesn't go there, does he go in the first round? Who knows? He moved up and got Jahmyr Gibbs when there wasn't a for sure. No one was talking about Jahmyr Gibbs top 12, and he did it.
Jack Campbell, that's a prime example. You never know.
He might.
Yeah, they like him. They like him, man. It's crazy they met with Mike Green with all the allegations that innocent until proven guilty, but they met with him and like not Mykel.
I don't think it's crazy because I feel like, and he said it, like you want to get to know the person more, like what actually happened, what's going on. Yeah. Like you have 15 minutes in the combine to really break this thing down. He said in his press conference yesterday, like because someone asked him about that, like how do you look into those types of situations? And he said, listen, you gotta, we do a lot of digging and we find out things that no one else knows or people think they know. And this is the other thing that happens. So he probably spoke with Mike about it all and got clarity.
You ever see like those, the things they ask people like at the draft or like they ask prospects. Like I know you see some Sam Laporta clips, but like they ask really weird questions and it's like your mom. It's like your mom and your girlfriend are both in a burning building. Who are you saving or something? It's like random questions and you're like,
Get
but
the
like
character on the guy though.
Yeah, it's like or they'll throw like random out of the
Can I throw some at you? I just pulled it up.
Oh, you have some? Oh,
okay, never mind. This is a bad.
Have you guys heard that?
I'm gonna show you guys this article later. It's a US Today one. I mean, the first question is, do you find your mother attractive? That has to be a joke. That has to be. Oh, that's crazy.
That's a wild question. Answer, Boone.
No, I'm not answering that. No. I mean, I can answer that. No. What?
My mom's the fucking what?
I'm trying to find some combine questions, but
like, have you guys ever heard? I've read that.
Oh yeah.
It's like random, like out of pocket questions. I don't know if it's that out of pocket, but it's just like testing what how they lean or what they say, kind of thing. Yeah. It's
like this question. This is a Sports Illustrated article from 2014 of people who got asked something. How many different things can you think of that you can do with a paperclip? What animal would you describe yourself as?
Yeah, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, what's the drug of choice on your campus?
Okay, that's snitching. That's
Steve
snitching.
Mariucci during a sample interview last year with Geno Smith.
That's snitching. I don't know what that is. How many different things you can do with a paperclip? Like shit like that. Like what? I mean, I don't know. Just seeing how fast your brain works, I guess. Or like
you're creative.
Yeah, creative. But like
drug of choice on campus.
Yeah, what's your drug of choice on campus?
We should let the chat drop some and we have to answer that.
Football. That's my drug of choice.
Football. Yes.
Next question: would you date your sister? Like, it's just like, wait, what are we doing?
That's crazy, man.
Well,
that's why I like the Gruden videos that he's been doing now.
Yeah,
like when he does those quarterback things, and he does some like one-off ones where he's with like a running back or a receiver, and when he does them, he sits down with them for 15 minutes like he's doing a combine interview, and he'll just start firing I think he explained it and said that he wants to do it to prepare these guys, or not even just to prepare them because the combine's over, but to simulate it. So it's like people get to see how these guys work in a combine room, and he's asking the question like how he acted when he was in Vegas interviewing guys in the combine. He just does those in the videos. It's one of the greatest things of all time. Like he's literally asking questions like that. But he's like, you could tell he does it so genuinely.
Well, he drills those guys with like good because he's coached. I mean, he's coached for a while.
Yeah,
but he'll drill them with questions he would drill his quarterbacks with.
For sure. And if you watch it back and you actually think about it, some of the questions he asks are like those one-off questions, but he just does it so naturally. Like he'd be like, where would you take your girl out to dinner or something? And then but it's like, if you think about it, it's like,
correlate somehow.
Yeah, it's like, why are you asking me that? But he's like, that's him as a coach. Like, he's so
who handled it pretty well. Will Howard.
Klotz.
Will Howard
did you watch?
He crushed that one. Kyle
McCord?
I did.
Seth Hennigan. Seth Hennigan, I liked his.
I didn't watch his.
He's got that dog in him. Yeah.
I'm disappointed. They almost a good one. What to me would have been Jalen Milroe, and they said that they had Jalen Milroe, and then ended up having to cancel it because of like timing things or something.
That's good PR for him if he did that.
Oh, dude, that's why. And I would have loved to see Jalen Milroe. You would get to see like the other side of Jalen Milroe a little bit.
Well, hey, I want to show you some of these other picks before we get Eric Vincent on. All right, the next pick, Marcus Mbow.
Marcus Bow. Here's a guy. He was on the here's a guy potential watch list for this.
Marcus Bow
didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut. We want Darius Alexander, but I mean, I won't do it next week. He was probably going to be the guy. Marcus Bow can ball now. Okay, Purdue can move in space. Yeah, Marcus Bow is a very good guard. I would be surprised if he's there at 60. He's getting more like that. Like a lot of people are higher on him than a guy like Tate Ratledge coming out of Georgia, and those Georgia interior offensive linemen, like Big Ten. There's something to say about interior offensive linemen, really good, but the film on him, very good. Marcus Bow.
All right, I wasn't C Klotz. That's why I go to you on this. Marcus Bow. played right tackle.
Piper's the one who put me onto him because he did one of his sleeper things like 2-3 months ago, and he was talking about him for a second. But I was like, okay, I'll see what Unk's talking about. Unk Kipe did some more film. I like him. I like him. That's somebody like you talk about. He would give Glasgow some comp in training camp for sure. Like Glasgow's not going to get handed the spot if they took Mbow 60 overall.
You know what I actually like about this guard situation? I hope they draft a guard in the first 3 rounds. They mentioned something that like Christian's not even guaranteed a spot. And you boys know me. What's one thing that I love and I've been saying for this team over the last couple months this offseason? One competition, boys. I want you to compete. I don't want Christian Mahogany just to get handed his spot. I don't want Graham just to be like, hey, you're a vet, you're good. Come on, here's your spot, man.
Because of why?
No. I don't want Terrion. I don't want those guys just to take earn it. And Terrion's earned it. That's not a shot.
I know.
I'm just saying. I want competition in those rooms. That's why when you guys, I get so passionate about sometimes when you guys are like, need. It's like, yeah, I get it. We need some need. I'm with you. I want competition in these rooms. I don't care how many guys we have and how many good players we have in each room. That's why a couple of weeks ago, I said, get me another running back to compete with Craig Reynolds. I want a dude in there.
I want him in the 3rd round. Dude.
Get me Trevor Etienne. Compete.
But you of course would want a running back early, but you would not, right?
Right? No. I think it's such a deep running back class.
I need to clarify with
round,
you sometimes. I gotta make
Trevor
sure.
Etienne, 4th round, 5th round. Who's my guy that I love out of VT? Out of drawing a blank. Love him. Go get him 5th, 6th round. Who's my other guy that I love that I've been drafting a million times?
Texas Tech, isn't it?
Taj Brooks. Love him. I don't think it's Taj. Yes, Taj Brooks.
Yeah,
I was thinking about the quarterback Taj out of Clemson. But there's guys. I love them. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead. I know you're in the Giovanni Manu.
No, actually, shout out. Hey, I mean, like Coach Rock said, Town Club. These kids will never know how good that was.
Town Club's good.
Town Club, man.
Town
Club. Now that was the shit, dude.
Town Club was great. It's a glass bottle. Crack it open. Oh, good.
It was selling like locally over here, and me and the boys, back in like
Town Club,
early middle school, elementary. Go out there, man. Go to like up the market. Go to the market. They sell at this market right by our house. You go and get like a couple Town Clubs.
Is it alcohol?
Sorted. They got different.
No. It's like a soda.
No, it's soda. But it's
Jeff Wild and Out.
It's a bunch of different crazy flavors of soda. I will say, I know we're getting off topic here, boys. I used to love. I was thinking about this. I don't know if kids do it these days. My summers, I was thinking about it where I lived, like in town. I would wake up at 8 a.m. every day. This is my whole summer, every single day. This is not a lie. I'd wake up at 8 a.m. My mom or someone would leave me maybe $3, $4. I would ride my bike around all day with pegs on it to the friend's house, play football in the yard and stuff. I would ride into town to a little pizza joint. I would buy 2 slices of pizza for $1.50. I would get myself a Faygo for 99 cents or like a tea. And it was $3 for the whole lunch. And I would get some candy and I would ride my bike around until about 8 p.m. and go into people's houses playing outside. And that was my summer. And then I would go home. I would be sweating, crashed out, be dead, fall asleep, watching like Adam Sandler, like Billy Madison, and then wake up and do it all over again.
That's
12
America,
hours
bro.
out on this.
That's America right there, bro.
Yeah, that's America, man.
Hey, and if my mom or no one left me money, I would go scrounge and I would go get bottles or find a way to get $3 so I can go get my pizza that day.
Steal some change.
I would find a way. I was
the biggest change thief.
Oh, yeah, you can find change anywhere.
Like $20 of change in the change jar got down to $14 real quick.
If you need that's why I hate today's world right now. Like growing up for the years as a kid, I could go get a whole meal every single day. I was 9 years old for $2. Now it's like $8, $10, dude. I could give me like 8 quarters. I'm eating good for the day with 8 quarters. Swear,
hey,
that's all I needed.
Before we get Eric on the last pick in the 3rd round that Mel did. Barrett Carter, linebacker at Clemson.
Juicy J.
Yeah. No, I love Barrett Carter. I'm cool with that.
I've been seeing a lot of people love Barrett too. Like it's starting to come out a little bit. Barrett Carter still in this draft.
Yeah, he's a dog, man.
I think they might have traded up for that too, because there's a little asterisk next to it. I don't know if we have one. I don't know if we have one.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we do have 102. That's on me.
Hey, let's bring in the absolute.
Come on.
I mean, Eric's here, bro. We haven't had Eric on in a minute, man. We get him right before the playoffs.
Let's go.
Eric Vincent. I mean, the guy's doing some great stuff. He's a great follow on Twitter. Twitter covers the Detroit Pistons. He's going to be dialed in tomorrow because they play the Knicks. All right, so let's please welcome him in here, man. Mr. Eric Vincent. Eric, how we doing, brother?
Feeling good, man. Y'all always know how to get my self-esteem high, man. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you know what, Eric? That's what friends are for, man. We're trying to – you got to hype you up, man, because honestly, I'm excited for you because, I mean, you're covering the Pistons. We saw you we saw you down there. We were at the Grizzlies game. I think it was like – that's when Desmond Bane had like 40. And I saw you down there covering them, dude. And so you've been grinding, and they're a good team. They're in the postseason. Cade's balling. I mean, the whole team, it's crazy what a year can do, a new head coach can do, and you're covering a playoff team. And a team that many think, maybe not nationally, because I've seen the disrespect there, but many locally know what this Pistons team's about and how they play, especially they're young, they're naive in a good way, and they're going to go to New York. They're going to play at Madison Square Garden, and Cade's going to make a legacy out there. But I want to get your thoughts just by you've seen this team all year. What's your kind of feeling now going into tomorrow and kind of your confidence level that maybe they can even go in there and steal a game right off the rip?
Yeah, man, it's a lot of excitement going into this series. I mean, when it dwindled down to like the last 10, 15 games, maybe a little more than that, a lot of us talked about, the most ideal matchups. I didn't really like the Milwaukee matchup just because Giannis is such a thorn to deal with at that stretch forward position. Even when he had the ball more as a point when Dame was out, like I just didn't like that matchup for the Pistons. And Indiana had been red hot. I know, the rivalry between the two teams is awesome, but I just didn't think it was the right time for the Pistons to be playing just because the Pacers have been playing so good over the past 20 games. This is the prime matchup for a team like the Detroit Pistons. You're playing against a veteran-filled, like top-heavy team with a lot of stars, and they're playing with a coach that's philosophy is to play them as many minutes as possible where they look kind of gassed towards the postseason. And we saw a lot of that, which is why they struggled against elite teams at the top of the Eastern Conference, including the Pistons, beating them 3-1. Obviously with the postseason being a different, kind of animal, the Pistons style of play is built for the postseason. They play defense. They have a lot of scoring variety. They have the best player in the series in Cade Cunningham, who's looking to make a name for himself as that next NBA superstar. You couldn't ask for a better moment for these young guys, man. So, yeah, the fans are excited. Me, myself, as a fan and a beat reporter, I'm definitely excited. It's going to be an awesome, awesome experience for this franchise and for this community.
Eric, hey, I want to say, first of all, I'm pumped up for you. You get to be able to cover them and be in the building for these playoff games. That's going to be unbelievable. I do want to throw this out, and I want to ask you this because you have been around the Pistons all year long, and you have got to experience and see, I wouldn't say like the development of Cade because we've known what he is, but more so that kind of up-and-going track over the last couple years of him taking that step into stardom now. What are your thoughts on him, like, going into the series? We've had the conversation to where this is a series where he has a chance to become a solidified top 10, and if you want to argue top 7 player in the NBA. Do you think he can get it done, and what do you think he needs to do to be able to prove that to, national media around the National Basketball Association?
Yeah, Cade has answered the call. I mean, if you go back to the Miami game where they flexed the Pistons against the Heat and he gets the game winner and the triple-double after getting a lot of promotion, Cade has validated a lot of the attention that's been thrown his way from the All-Star nods, All-NBA consideration. Obviously, Detroit sports fans have known this is what he's been made of, but he truly has taken that next step. He's a very – I don't think people really understand how special he is yet. Like, the production he's given without a true superstar. I really like the veterans that they brought in, but a lot of those guys were kind of laughed at during the offseason just because of their perception around the league from fans and the media. They've done a tremendous job of complimenting Cade and helping bring that superstar out of him. 26 points a game, top 3 or 4 in assists, the best rebounding guard in basketball. And I think what sets him up so well for this series against the Knicks, JB talks about it all the time. When you look at, superstars and players that are heliocentric to an extent, like Luka, like LeBron in his vintage day, James Harden in his day, they're predicated on having the ball all the time and having to set everybody else up. They're not great playing off ball and doing the intangible things. Cade has already shown the ability to be able to play off ball, post up on the block. Like, they have ball handlers now, like Dennis Schroeder, who they got before the deadline, Asar Thompson, who's really good at bringing the ball up, and Jay Ivey, when he's healthy, is obviously another compliment to that too. But Cade has shown the ability to sacrifice for the team, do the dirty work, and make the changes necessary to help them win, instead of, how can I go get 35 and get my numbers up to carry this team? Like, I think, again, it's so much talk about the inexperience of this team, but I think the way JB Bickerstaff has got Cade and the rest of this team ready, the way they've been playing is predicated to postseason basketball, which to me gives them an advantage heading into this series against a team like the Knicks. And Cade is obviously a big focal point behind why, because he's been sensational this season.
And this question kind of flows perfectly, Eric. So you spoke on what Cade was. I want to ask you about two players that I think will be vital in this series, just to your point. Like, Cade can't do it all. He's going to need some help. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris, because both are good to very good players in certain moments. But in the playoffs, especially last year, saw Tobias Harris kind of got mocked about the whole goose egg. And you see Tim Hardaway Jr. in the playoffs was struggling shooting the basketball as well. So when you look at those two, are you optimistic, like, hey, that was a thing of the past with JB Bickerstaff and how they've been playing? I think that's not going to be the case. Or do you have some concern going forward just because we saw them in the playoffs struggle recently?
I'm not too worried about what they're capable of, just because I don't think the expectation is as high as it was in a situation for like a guy like Tobias, who was playing for the Sixers on a huge contract. Even if you look at Tim Hardaway Jr., they had championship aspirations, got to the finals. Not to say the Pistons can't get to the finals, but I think there's just a different level of expectation because it's their first time as a group stepping into this postseason. But you're 100% right. Those are two of the biggest swing players that can change a lot of the dynamic between, where the Pistons go in this 7-game series. I think Cade is going to get his. I think Beasley's going to be hot and hit some timely shots. I also think Jalen Duren can really make a huge difference as well. But Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias, they really have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. Like, Tobias has done a really good job of adjusting his scoring load. He's done a lot better in catch and shoot situations where Cade finds him off a double team. The Pistons do a really good job of hunting mismatches for Tobias to be matched up against a guard or a point guard or a smaller forward in the post. And he's done a really good job of attacking in that painted area. So if he's giving you anywhere around like 15 points a game, along the fact that he's also been a really good rebounder, which helps them play out in transition. The Pistons love getting out and running. And if they're allowing second chance opportunities, they don't get a chance to do that. So guys like Tobias are super important in that front court. And Tim Hardaway, another guy, he's got to hit some timely shots. He's going to get, I think they're going to throw a lot of bodies at Jalen Brunson. Like, I don't think it's just going to be Asar or Cade getting him one-on-one. They have a lot of depth. So I think guys like Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Ron Holland, Asar, like even Cade probably, like, you're going to see a lot of different matchups thrown his way to kind of get him flustered. And I think offensively it's important for somebody like Tim Hardaway Jr., but defensively I think is the biggest key for him if they want to limit the Knicks offense, which is where they predicate the majority of their production when they win.
Hey, let me ask you, Eric. Malik Beasley. I mean, give the guy a lifetime fucking extension. I mean, he's incredible. I mean, he could shoot the ball. Dude. He should have led the league in threes, but Anthony Edwards taking 18 of them. It is what it is. But I'll ask you his comments on Karl-Anthony Towns. I like it personally. I guess it depends on who you ask. Like, there's people out there that are like, oh no, giving them something to run with. What do you make of it? It's nothing. It's not a big deal. He's just basically saying, like, I ain't worried about that man right now. And number one, he's not even going to be guarding him. So, like, why would he be worried about him? What do you think of his comments? And then what do you think of Karl-Anthony Towns and the matchup there with Duren, Isaiah Stewart, and those guys kind of trying to handle him?
Yeah, Beasley's he's a funny guy. I definitely winced a little bit until I realized that they were teammates at one point. So It made me take it a little bit down of, okay, maybe they're just joking around. Maybe it's not too personal. But at the same time, I think Beasley also played in Milwaukee with Giannis, and we saw what happened between them, towards the end of the season as well. So, it'll probably fire Cat up a little bit. Again, this is the Knicks are not playing around. They didn't make all those trades just to only get past the Pistons in the first round. They made those moves to be in championship contention. And this is going to be one of those series where they have to fight. And Cat's going to have to be one of those big guys to do it. I think Looking at his matchups, obviously going up against Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, who's been one of the best defenders of all of basketball throughout the NBA. There's a lot of pressure on him to succeed, especially knowing that if you look at his side-by-side numbers in his career, his regular season numbers and his postseason numbers are completely different. Like, I think his points are like 5 points down. His rebounds are down. His shooting percentage is down. He's just not the same player. And now in a situation with the Knicks where Brunson may still be a little bit hobbled and the other guys don't have the scoring versatility that a guy like Cat has, there's a lot of pressure on him to succeed, especially knowing the Pistons are going to be throwing a lot of different guys at him that can bring that physicality to take him out of his game. Last time he came to LCA, he had a good game. I think he had like 25, 27 points, but when he was matched up against Isaiah Stewart, he shot 2 of 7 the whole game. And his defense on him changed the entire dynamic to help the Pistons win that game. So, yeah, it's not going to be easy for Cat. He's got a lot of pressure on him. There may be some moments where they probably play him at the 4 and put Mitchell Robinson at the 5 just to kind of balance things out or try to take advantage of some matchups. But, yeah, he's more than anybody else on that team. He has to show up more than anybody else to give the Knicks a chance. But I think the Pistons have exactly what they need to kind of limit him on the perimeter and in the paint as well.
Hey, do you think something I've been thinking about, Eric, is just you see it all the time in the playoffs, especially like college, NBA, is when you get to the playoffs, some minutes for guys and rotations start to change a little bit, and coaches try and limit it. How do you see this happening here with JB? Do you think guys like Simone Ventecchio ends up losing, hey, you're out now? A guy like Ron Holland's in more. How do you see this working out? Because I think that's one of the more interesting things, especially with a team like the Pistons. They've been rolling, and especially the last couple of weeks, it feels like guys have been sitting out to try and get healthy and ready for the playoffs. How do you see these lineups going over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, JB likes to coach off of flow. He sees, who's in a rhythm, who's picking up the energy for the team, who's making timely shots. And a lot of time we've seen, especially towards the end of the season, Fontecchio's been a little streaky this season. Hasn't really been the best, shooter or defender from what we've seen, especially compared to last season. And we have somebody like Ron Holland, who basically whenever he's thrown in the game, he changes the tide just like that. He's done a fantastic job of whenever the Pistons may be a little lulling on offense or defense, Ron is the guy that can get a steal, get a block, get a rebound or a loose ball and turn it into a transition bucket to make LCA go crazy. And I think JB is going to try to feed off of that and see what works. There'll be some moments where maybe they'll need to play Fontecchio over Ron. Like if maybe the Knicks play zone and, they want to try to force the Pistons to shoot. And Fontecchio is one of those guys you want to be able to lean on as a veteran and a spot-up shooter for your team. So I think they're going to probably just kind of roll off of whatever the momentum is. We probably won't see. I would be shocked how much Marcus Sasser we see. Like you brought in Dennis Schroeder for this exact moment, and he's done a really good job of blending in with the closing lineups for the Pistons in the last 5 minutes where he's playing next to Cade Cunningham, who doesn't have to bring the ball up. So when the Pistons are up, limited number of points in the 2 minutes left, and they start pressuring them, it's not all on Cade to get ripped up, where he's had a problem with turnovers and whatnot. Having someone like Dennis Schroeder, having a Sarr, the Pistons just have a lot of variety that they've been able to develop and strengthen, over the course of the season. And I think it makes them, a little sharper in these moments. And JB's also talked about preparing for these kind of moments. So, if there's minutes do have to come down, it shouldn't be a shock because they've talked them into these kind of things and understood what the sacrifice is needed for this young foundation of this team that's trying to win these playoff games. So I think they're going in with the right mindset, and I think JB will have the right plan to have them ready, to adjust however they need to on the lineup.
Coach of the year, JB deserves it.
Yeah, facts.
100%. Absolutely, he deserves it. I'm a little worried about that, but yeah, I definitely think he deserves it.
Yeah, they'll do him dirty, Eric. You already know how that goes.
I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for it. Yep.
Go ahead, Klotz.
And Eric, you just brought up Ausar Thompson, and he's going to be crucial in the series because how elite he is defensively. When you look at the Knicks, outside of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, who gives you some concern about, hey, this guy can go get a bucket right now and cause some serious problems, even if it's somebody off the bench? Who do you think the Knicks have on their roster that can give Detroit a lot of problems that people might not be expecting?
Josh Hart. Josh Hart is the first name I'm thinking of.
Yep.
He is he's not like a dynamo where he just goes to create his own buckets, but he is very good on the glass. He's a really good rebounding guard, especially on the offensive glass. He's not even that big. He's like 6'5", 6'6", and he is the dirty work guy that does a lot of the glue work to kind of connect, the Stars and the Knicks whenever they're trying to get a bucket or create extra possessions as well. The Pistons need, again, if they want to play to their identity, which is getting out on the open floor, taking advantage of their athleticism, using their speed, playing in transition, you cannot allow second chance opportunities. You cannot allow it with this team because MSG is going to ignite. They're going to rally behind that. Brunson is a guy that shoots off of momentum. He can get hot. Mikal Bridges the same way. Cat the same way. But to me, Josh Hart is that guy. Maybe him and OG Anunoby, they're good defenders, but the dirty work that they do to get those loose shots where the Pistons could scramble, even if they don't make the shot, like let's say, they tap a ball out and Brunson is open for a three and Ashar crashes late and Brunson goats him into a foul, then you really get in trouble because those are the kind of plays you want to limit as much as possible. The Pistons thrive on dirty work and, out rebounding their opponents and playing discipline in those kind of moments. Josh Hart is a guy that can throw a wrench in all of that. So they have to be disciplined on the glass. To me, I think they have super productive rebounders in Tobias, Jalen Duren, one of the best rebounders in the game, Asar, one of the best rebounders in the game. And again, Tobias has done a really good job as well. Even Cade, we've seen Tim Hardaway. They do a really good job of rebounding as a team. And if you want to keep those dirty work guys, again, I believe the Stars are going to have their days. We're going to see some 20, 30-point performances by Cat, by Brunson. Maybe Mikal gets hot. The other guys cannot give them any further life, and you can't let them score on second chance and dirty work opportunities as well. The Pistons have to limit that if they really want to get a shot at winning this.
Love that. Eric, keep crushing, man. I mean, I honestly, and this is genuine. I'm not trying to gas you up here. I love listening to you talk ball, bro. You know your shit. Keep doing great work, and we will talk to you soon. I mean, hopefully we can get you on during the playoff run. Hopefully they win a series. We get this next players going. We can talk to you again.
Hope so, man. Love you guys, man. Appreciate y'all for having me on, man. Go Pistons.
There you go.
Baby.
Hey, Eric, enjoy covering a playoff team, man. I'm pumped up for you. It's going to be a good time.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Don't go too Hollywood on us, Eric. All right?
No, never. Right. I've always got time for you, Jeff. Always, man.
Go. Come on, baby. There you go. Eric Vincent, check him out. I am Eric Vincent. He's the absolute man, dude. I cannot wait for tomorrow, boys. I mean, we'll be live talking about it. We'll be covering it. I cannot wait. I mean, we talked about it before the show, Boone, the intros. To be on game 3, to be an LCA, to just listen to that. Oh my gosh, just to be in that environment. Eric's going to be right there. It's going to be awesome.
It feels so different than 2019. It feels a little different in those years because you do feel like those years. Yeah, I think it was the Bucks we played and you got swept. It was you need a miracle to get a win. Because you're going up against the this feels like it's hey, we can really win the series. This isn't a question to me. You have an opportunity to actually win the series, and it's it feels like playoff basketball in Detroit is legit, and it's not just this year, but the future for the next few years, which really gets me going a little bit. I miss the good old days when the Pistons were one of the best in the entire league. And that was one of the best times of my life.
I love it. I do. And by the way, predictions. We'll give those out tomorrow. Our own predictions. We'll save them. So be there tomorrow. You hear our predictions before the show.
I think we already gave them out earlier this week. You did your rap. And you couldn't rhyme.
He did. Boone is correct.
By the way.
That was bad.
Have you ever seen Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, but just because he's Shannon
Sharp
doesn't mean
he doesn't rhyme 5 with what he says, right?
That's fine. He just to me it just doesn't sound right.
I think you missed it. Went over your head. It's too much.
No, I just think it was bad, which is fine. It's no big deal, bro. I've heard you rap before. You've done a good job. That was a miss. We all have misses. I miss all the time, but it's all good.
Hey, one man's trash, another man's treasure. So that was
next time just come back bigger and better. Once they win this series, next series, come back better. I said Pistons in 6. Jeff said I don't even know what the rhyme was, but Pistons in 7, and I think Klotz is 6 as well. Could be wrong.
I said 7. Jeff said
7.
6.
I said 7. Knicks, brand new kicks, chick flicks. Pistons in 6 or 7.
You said 7. It
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
rhyme.
it was
But
7. Okay,
it's
well.
like Shannon, Lakers in 5. He doesn't rhyme 5. See,
I-
it's all right, Boone. We'll coach you. We'll coach you another day.
Nope.
Hey, we'll get you. We'll get you there. Don't worry.
Changing Boone.
I forgot. You're Shannon Jr. I forgot. You
Hey, I
you
appreciate it.
carve your game. You carve your game like Shannon.
Yep. That's fair.
Yup,
Hey,
yup.
by the way, no one actually
Just
knew
gonna show up with some Hennessy and Black and Miles in his ear, like the meme. The meme that goes around.
No, I love Shannon. He's the
Shannon.
best. We're gonna rank our top 5 GMs, by the way, which I'm excited. Before we get to our full first round, we have top 5 general managers. Top five.
Top
Is
5.
Brad Holmes on that top 5 list? We're about to find out. Me, Boone, and Klotz all have our top 5 list. And I'm gonna see. I'm interested to see the order because I think it should be objective for the most part. But I think the only thing that may be different is the order.
I'll say this. I think 1 and 2 should be. We all probably have the same 1, 2, maybe 1, 2, 3. I think 4, 5. That's where I was sitting there the other day when we were doing them, and I'm like, I can't figure out 4 and 5. Like I was sitting there trying to make an argument, and I ended up landing. I honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if we all had the exact same 5.
I wanted to find a way to put Eric DaCosta in there. Love Eric.
I wanted to. I
would've
just
lost my mind.
I wanted
because
to.
there's
No!
one I would've had.
Eric
There's
DaCosta.
one issue
He's
I would have
6.
had.
He is 6.
Yeah,
he's
He's
6
good,
in the
but
NFL.
he didn't pick Lamar Jackson. Okay, so let's not. He hasn't been able to draft a wide receiver to save his life.
Check the numbers.
Good GM. He's not.
All right,
top
you know
five.
what? I'm not going to fight at you over Eric DaCosta. John Schneider. All right, let's
GM.
get into it. Here, I'll share my top 5 list.
Staying on business, Jeff.
And this is the correct list. I'll set the tone here. Here is my top 5 general managers, according to Jeff Iafrate. So let me talk to you for a second here. All right. So maybe it's better if we actually just do it this way so I don't block the guys. So let me tell you this, guys. Okay, these are the top 5 general managers in the NFL. There's no disagreeing with this list. All right, number 1, Eagles GM Howie Roseman. I mean, I don't really need to debate this much. I mean, the guy. This is how I value GMs, boys. I'll just lay it on the line.
Undisputed. Number 1.
I'll lay this on the line right now. How I look at GMs. Maybe you guys look at it differently. Maybe you agree. Maybe the chat disagrees. I look at acquisitions, trades, free agency. I look at drafts, and then I look at just success. You have to factor in team success. So what they're doing in free agency, what they're doing in trades, what they're doing in the draft, and then what the team has done. Those are 4 things you have to take into consideration. All those 4 things, Howie's the best in the league at it. Signed Saquon Barkley. I know Saquon, it wasn't he traded for A.J. Brown, drafted Devonta Smith, drafted Jalen Hurts, drafted basically everyone on that roster. He's hit on a ton of draft picks. And on top of that, they've won a Super Bowl. They've made a Super Bowl. Oh, they won 2, actually. And they made another. And they won with different quarterbacks. And he honestly, I think Howie, he's been at it for a while, so he has that over other GMs. But he just has a long track record of just winning with different coaches, different situations. Anything you throw at Howie, he's kind of the standard right now in the league in terms of GMs. Number 2, Chiefs GM, Brett Veach. Brett Veach, I think the most notable for Brett is trading away Tyreek Hill, and you have Patrick Mahomes. They found Patrick Mahomes. On top of that, all the players they've drafted, Nick Bolton, right? You go down the line, George Karlaftis, Rashee Rice. The free agency signings he's made. They've won Super Bowls, obviously. And if you want to say, well, they have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, well, look at the team they're winning with. Defensively, they've hit on Trent McDuffie, late first-round pick. He's drafted talent everywhere. And then on top of that, offensively, drafted Trey Smith, drafted Joe Tooney. The guy just hits on draft picks, great at free agency, great at trades. And on top of that, they won Super Bowls. And then, so those 2 to me are like the 2 in the National Football League. And then a close third. Les Snead, how do you not put the guy in your top 5 list? Les Snead is like one of my personal favorite. I love Les Snead. He's aggressive. He makes great trades, right? The Super Bowl year. They traded for Matthew Stafford, but all the moves he made after that too, to kind of solidify that team and went out and win a Super Bowl. He's drafted stars without having a first-round pick. Brad Holmes came from Les Snead, learned under him. Brad Holmes is what is that? The protege, or right? Is that predecessor? No, it's the other one.
Protege.
Yep. So I love Les Snead. Great GM, elite GM. Number 4, I have John Lynch here, and the reason why I have John Lynch over Brad Holmes, I think team success, and they've done it with underwhelming quarterback play, to be honest with you. And Brock Purdy's been a bright spot, right? He played well when they made the Super Bowl, but still, Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, they made 2 Super Bowls. He's drafted really good players all across on offense, on defense, trading for Christian McCaffrey and looking what that did for them. They made a Super Bowl with it. They came so close to beating the Chiefs with Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan deserves credit, but John Lynch being aggressive when it matters. And on top of that, drafts, free agency, everything. And the 2 Super Bowls, NFC Championship games, the success, you have to put him in front of Brad at this point. And then Brad's right there, in my opinion. I mean, Brad, look at what he's done with the Lions. I mean, he's drafted. Not too many GMs can say they've had rookies that have been all pros, right? That's the biggest thing for Brad. He's found stars all throughout the drafts. He's done, an unbelievable job finding talent, making smart free agency decisions. For the most part, DJ Reed will be another one, but Carlton Davis trading for him, signing DJ Reader. And then on top of that, you bring in other guys. I know the Marcus Davenport thing was a flop, but that was more of a flyer. So I'm not going to hold too much to Brad on that, but he's been great in the drafts. He's been great in the drafts. He's been great in free agency. And then trades. He hasn't made a ton of trades being aggressive, but Carlton definitely outweighs Donovan Peoples-Jones, for example. I mean, it turns into more wins there. And salary cap, I think, has to factor into this too, how these guys manage the cap. And all these guys do a really good job of managing the cap. And Brad is in that elite tier of being smart. He's being methodical and balancing. And by the way, Ryan, Anzalone, Demont, there's more there, of course, that he did in free agency. So Zeitler, another one. Thanks, Xavier, for that. There's plenty of them, man, that this guy's done. Trading for Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks. I mean, they started the regime doing that. So, yeah, this is the top 5. I think I love the order I have them in, but name-wise, I think these are the 5 guys you got to have. I mean, the notable names, I saw someone brought up the Bucs general manager,
Jason Light.
Yeah. Can I say something with him though, real quick?
He's in the top 10. He's up there.
Yeah.
I didn't have him in the top 5, but he's really good.
Because I had gone back and forth about Jason Light a little bit, and I get it. He is a good GM. It's not bad. I think being in the top 5 is different. To me, it's that's the next tier up. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl, and they have a pretty good roster right now. I wouldn't say they have a Super Bowl that's a Super Bowl contending roster. You're guaranteed to be in the I would say it's they need to have every year they compete, yes, but they're in a bad division, and you're not going to every year be yep, that's a Super Bowl team. His first 6 or 7 years there, they had one team over 500, one. So it's if you're and I got in this argument with our Bucs fan in the chat on Twitter. You can't argue Brad Holmes to Jason Light based off of that. Brad Holmes has been in the league as a GM for 4 years and has had 3 of the 4 years after he probably arguably, boys, correct me if I'm wrong, he took over one of the worst rosters in NFL history. He said it himself. It was an XFL roster. And he took it over, and I didn't even it really didn't hit me until I started looking all this up. Brad Holmes in 1 year took one of the worst rosters in NFL history and flipped it into a 9-8 team in year 2.
Yeah.
And you do not see NFL GMs do that. And in his 4 years as a Lions GM, he has had 3 winning seasons. He's gone to an NFC Championship game. He's had a 15-2 team. What else was it? 15-2, boys?
15-2.
So you had those teams. That's your 3 seasons. As you took an XFL roster, turned it into a 9-8 team, and then you ended up going to and then you went to a conference championship game, and then you went 15-2. You can't put Jason Light up against Brad Holmes. He did a good job. He built a good roster, and then he got lucky, I would say, and was able to get Tom Brady and kind of handed the golden bag there.
That team
and he got handed the golden bag there, won a Super Bowl, and now he's going to live off that the rest of his life. And I think he puts good rosters together. But when you're talking about GM, when it comes to salary cap, drafting, this, that, Brad has turned an XFL roster around in 12 months. He did it. He did it in 12 months.
He did.
12 months. It took Jason Light. It took him 7 years to turn that roster around, plus Tom Brady. 7 years. He had 1 winning year, 1 winning record in 6 seasons as a GM to start. So, yeah, that's where it's there's a big difference. There's levels to this,
Hey,
man.
Well, Boone, talk to me. You want to go next? You talking about?
Yeah. I'll go
All right,
next.
Boone, talk to me here. What was the thinking here?
My list actually, and I won't go too long, boys, because it's literally Jeff. Everything you said.
Yeah, we agree. I like this.
I think, and again, like I said before, I think this is how it should go. Especially if we're talking about today's NFL, like right now, Howie Roseman in the last 3 years, he's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He just beat. I would go Brett Veach. He just beat Brett Veach, and he did it. How did they beat Brett Veach, boys?
Defensive line, dude.
Defensive line. How did they get the defensive line? Howie Roseman dominated over the last 2 years. He dominated every other GM. He went out there. What else did he do? Added Saquon Barkley that put them over the top. So like every move that he has made put them over the top of the Kansas City Chiefs. He built that roster to beat Brett Veach and the Chiefs. And I think if you talk about it like Klotz, we had the conversation I remember earlier this year. You just kept hating on the Chiefs all year, and I was getting so mad. And you were bringing up the best point. And you were like, they didn't put Patrick Mahomes in a position to win it this year and have a great offense to where you can be like, that's actually a Super Bowl team. And that's where I think Brett Veach kind of over the last year, he's done a good job, and he's constantly bringing new guys in. He's having to move on from contracts. What's so funny?
Go ahead, because I'll save it for my list, Boone.
But I do think like that's a great point you made all year. It's like, what did they do this year where like you could tell, hey, they needed more. They needed some positions. Like, and he didn't address those, and that hurt them. And guess what Howie Roseman did last summer? He addressed them. And guess what that did? That put Howie Roseman over the top over Brett Veach because he addressed the needs. He addressed everything he needed to do. Brett Veach, I'd say if you talk about career-wise, I mean, the man's coveted based off what he's done. And obviously it's with Patrick Mahomes. But I would say current day, Howie Roseman has passed him up currently if you're talking about like GM power rankings. John Lynch, Les Snead. All right, this is probably
the only one I disagree with.
This is what I was like.
This is the one, and I'm just going to be completely honest with you boys. I sat there, and this is no joke, probably 2 hours minimum. And I'm just like, I don't know. And I don't think it's Klotz, you're acting like you're like all big and bad over there laughing. Buddy, it's not as far as of it. Like it's a close thing. Like depending on who you think's done a better job over their career. Like Les Snead won a Super Bowl based off of his trade with Jared Goff and all of that, which is a big move. John Lynch consistently has just had great rosters. 4 of the last 6 years, they were in the conference championship or Super Bowl. 4 of the last 6 years.
It's crazy.
Has Les Snead done that? No. So all those faces you're making trying to act like you know more ball than me, you can move all of those out of the way and stop trying to act like that guy. I'm tired of those looks. But you can actually have a civil conversation and be like, hey, John Lynch has been probably one of the most consistent GMs in the NFL over the last 6 years. So that was kind of the way I took it when I sat there for the 2 hours. And after I go, okay, like they both know how to draft players very well. They're very, very elite. They're both elite at it. They both make great trades and make moves. Christian McCaffrey won. Like they know what they're doing. How have they looked over the last 6-7 years? How has their records look? And John Lynch has been the more consistent one. Like you see Les Snead sometimes where he has to, like last year, hey, we got to rebuild. We lost Aaron Donald, which is fine. You don't want to hate him for that. But like if you're talking about like 3 to 4, I mean, come on now. Like it's close. It's so interchangeable to me. It's the same thing. I think 1 to 4 is interchangeable. That's all I think.
If you had like John Lynch at 2, I'd be even more mad. But it's one spot.
Yeah,
I disagree, but I'm not going to sit here and fight you over a spot. I mean,
100%. And J-Mo Lion King just think Snead and Lynch are in the same division. Who's won that division more over the last 6 years with their rosters?
Probably, if you're going to go that way, Lynch.
Okay, yeah. So that was, great point, Booner. And then you guys see Brad Holmes at 5. Yeah. Brad Holmes deserves to be at 5. I already gave my point about him with the Jason Litt thing. There is no reason Brad Holmes should not be the fifth overall. I think the only thing you can knock him is what is it? And this was the argument as well. Olsen brought up to me. You haven't got to see how he controls contracts. Actually, you have, because last year he signed 3 guys to massive deals. He's working, and hey, he's giving and taking all these different things right now, making sure it's working. So I'm Brad Holmes is 5th at the moment.
All right, Klotzy.
All right, boys. We have the same 5. We have a different order. I don't know how in the world. If you want to go off like the last 2 years, I could hear Howie Roseman out. We're talking about since these guys, because you look at Howie Roseman came in, I believe, 2010. Number 1, Brett Veach came in 2012. Are we not forgetting that the Chiefs just are coming off a potential three-peat after winning a Super Bowl a couple years before? So he has 3 Super Bowl rings, okay? This is the guy that traded up 17 picks. They were sitting at pick 27. They go, we are walking out of this draft with Patrick Mahomes. We are going to draft Chris Jones. We are going to draft Tyreek Hill. We are going to draft Travis Kelce. The amount of future Hall of Famers this guy has drafted and Brett Veach and won with consistently is insane. He's the best GM in football. He has the most Super Bowl rings. He has the best quarterback. He's even won in years where he hasn't been able to go nuts in the draft, where they'll miss on a first-round pick. But because you draft Patrick Mahomes and you have 3 Super Bowl rings to show for it, and you have been consistently this good, there's no way you can tell me someone else is better at doing their jobs than Brett Veach, because Howie Roseman could have drafted Patrick Mahomes. Les Snead could have drafted Patrick Mahomes. John Lynch could have. John Lynch drafted Trey Lance. Brad Holmes couldn't have. But the guys in front of him all could have drafted Patrick Mahomes. All could have signed Andy Reid. Howie Roseman fired Andy Reid. So that is why I have Brett Veach number 1 or Brett Veach number 1. 2, Les Snead.
Current GM rankings number 1.
Battled at it. Because when I look at both of them made it to 2 Super Bowls, Howie Roseman has won it. But the thing that kind of fluxed it for me, who did Les Snead hire as his head coach? Sean McVay. And when you look at where Sean McVay was, no one knew who the hell Sean McVay was. He's a coordinator over in Washington. He's going to go over to be a future Hall of Fame head coach. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's drafted Aaron Donald. He drafted Jared Goff, made it to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Who'd they lose to? Oh, I don't know, Tom Brady in a 13-9 game. What did they do after that? We got to move off of Goff. They trade Matthew Stafford, one of the biggest trades in NFL history, and they make it to a Super Bowl. Les Snead, think about all the players that he's drafted. He went 7 years without a first-round pick, and you win a Super Bowl. Who else on this list could have won 7 years without a first-round pick and actually had a consistently good team? I don't even think any of them could. None of them. So I think with the lack of picks that he's had, which is his fault, but they had the formula to still win, is insane. It's unprecedented. We have not seen that in the NFL before. Les Snead will get a second Super Bowl. I wouldn't even be shocked if it was this year, because Howie Roseman, A.J. Brown trade, what did Les Snead just do this offseason? Just went and got Devontae Adams. But Howie Roseman, elite fucking GM. He's been cooking over the last 3 to 4 years. I think you could say he's been the best. But when you look at in totality, these GMs on the board and the totality of their careers, I have him third, because there has been some inconsistency early on. He has had some misses. You think about the Jalen Reagor picks. Now, all these GMs have missed. But I think Howie's been one of those GMs where he's learned and he's took some a little bit of losses to get to the stages he has been at. And he's the guy that's been the GM the longest out of all of these guys. Brett Veach has been 2017. His first draft pick was Patrick Mahomes. So that's another reason why. But Howie Roseman continues to make moves. Elite in all phases of the game. He's right behind Les Snead. If you want to throw Howie Roseman too, I'm not going to fight you over. Like I said, the thing that kind of sways it to Les Snead, in my opinion, is Sean McVay. And then 4 to me, I think the 4 and 5 should be John Lynch and Brad Holmes, because John Lynch has been consistent. He's been very good since he stepped foot in San Francisco, been able to acquire talent through trades, free agency, and the draft. But I do think things like, 1, not winning the Super Bowl, staring at Jimmy Garoppolo and saying, hey, this is going to be the guy when you have the chance to win a Super Bowl. They had the best roster in the NFL, and you're sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo, and then you go Trey Lance, and you come up empty-handed. I do think that's got to be accountable compared to the guys that have made moves with quarterbacks. You look at Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. You look at Matthew Stafford in LA, and then you look at moving off Alex Smith and going Patrick Mahomes. That's worked out to them to get a Super Bowl. John Lynch has been so close so many times, hasn't been able to get the job done. And then Lions, Brad Holmes, don't really need to explain much on that. We know the deal with Brad, but those are my 5 boys.
The only one, and like I get, you made very good points for Brett Veach 1. I disagree, but I'm not. That thing that frustrates me probably more is the fact that Howie, I don't think he should be lower than 2. And he already said, like, oh, if you disagree, I'm not going to fight you too much. That's like my biggest gripe is like, okay, Veach and Howie should be 1 and 2. You want to argue Veach, I'll disagree. But 3, he's got 2 Super Bowls with 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different head coaches. Like, at least Les Snead's had Sean McVay, and I'm not trying to discount him, but it's like, and he hired him. No, but my point is how we had who when they won the first Super Bowl?
Oh, Doug Peterson, who's
and
just
then
gotten fired again.
To who? And they won another one.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he did it with 2 different QBs, 2 different head coaches, and over the last, and that was in 2018.
So
like, he's been doing this for.
He's won 2 Super Bowls, and Les Snead's won 1, and like.
He can draft. He can
Like,
trade.
I don't think you're wrong, Klotzy. Like, your main points, he drafted a Hall of Famer. Like, Brett Veach, Howie Roseman, John Lynch, and Brad Holmes all drafted Hall of Famers. To me, it's like, yeah, we can do that. I think it's more so like, have these GMs put their teams in positions to be successful. And like currently active GMs, like we're talking about power rankings today, Howie Roseman over the last 2 to 3 years, like if you look at especially last offseason going into this year, like the reigning best GM in the NFL based off of the moves he made in the offseason to help Nick Sirianni and that team be successful, you cannot argue there's another NFL GM in the last 12 months that made better moves and did what they could have done that Howie Roseman did. Like him going out and getting Saquon Barkley is the number one move. It's arguably one of the best moves in NFL history to go win a Super Bowl. And then you're talking about the drafts that he's had to build that defensive line, the A.J. Brown trade to build that team. Like everything that he has done over the last couple of years to go win a Super Bowl and take that next step, it is like, yes, like Brett Veach has Pat Mahomes. You were the one all year long saying Patrick Mahomes didn't have the right pieces offensively to help
They're
win.
coming off of 3
Their
Super Bowl wins.
Their secondary isn't the same as it was before. I get what you're saying, but Klotz, if we're talking, and we could do this again, and we could do top 5 NFL GM careers, we could do that. But we're talking about GMs today. We're talking about today. It's like the power rankings in the NFL.
How
You
are we
don't
going
do
to
a
judge
power
a GM off
rankings.
of 1 year?
You don't do a quarterback power rankings and be like, oh, we're looking back at 2010, what the quarterback did. No, it's like, hey, what are they like today? Right now, Howie Roseman is the one overall, and you cannot argue it. Like, we can have the conversation, sure, because of what he's done with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but Brett Veach, and this is, you can have a baffled look on your face all you want. You were the one on this show for the last 12 months that went at the Kansas City Chiefs because their secondary wasn't as good and they didn't bring guys back, or they didn't have a team that was ready to go to put Patrick Mahomes in a position to win a Super Bowl. What did Howie Roseman do for Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts? He put them in a position to win a Super Bowl. Brett Veach did not. Your words, not mine. That's it.
So what about the 2 years prior to that when they won a Super Bowl, and then the 2 years before that when they won a Super Bowl, and then like what? So if we're just taking this year, then there should be like, who's Denver's GM? Should be top 5. Like Howie Roseman cooked. But like, if you want to go to Les Snead, what did Les Snead do? He acquired OBJ, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, and many more. Went and got a Super Bowl. Like, if we're not saying that Howie Roseman hasn't made good moves, but I'm looking at not just like the last 2 to 3, like all of these guys. Howie Roseman has been in the NFL longer than Les Snead, longer than Brett Veach. Brett Veach has more Super Bowls, has the best quarterback of all time, arguably, that no one was like, hey, Patrick Mahomes should be going top of this draft. No, he reached, and people were questioning because it had Alex Smith. I mean, we got to move to the mock draft, but I don't think there's a world where you could say there's no way you can argue that Howie Roseman is not the best GM in the NFL when you have a guy who just built a dynasty in Brett Veach. And what are we in 2025? He's been a GM for 8 years. 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, well, we'll disagree there.
Fair, yeah.
We'll
Agree to disagree.
Let's get to this draft. Caleb's battling. He doesn't have internet right now, so he tried
fighting.
joining. He went out. Romeo, the storm took out Caleb's internet. So Boone, you got the draft ready? Let's get this started because
Load her up. What's
we're
order,
gonna.
boy?
I will be picking number 1 in this draft, and I am honored to do so.
I know, Luke. Wait, Caleb's out?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So it is order Jeff, Booner, Lucas.
Okay, here we
If
go.
Sanders goes number 1 in this draft, I'm gonna freak out.
No,
Boom.
boys, let's do this how we think it's gonna go. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. So we're
Yes.
doing this on base what we think is gonna happen,
Yes.
not what we want to happen.
No trades. I mean, if you want to trade, we can.
We could
but-
trade, yeah. Just
Yeah,
trade.
that's fine.
we should just do like we don't have to like put a limit on it. Like if you want to trade, do it. Like Klotz, don't do it every pick. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we'd stick to one.
No, we could do more than one because it's just 3 of us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of picks. I'm just saying, like, I mean, don't start getting
Don't spam
crazy and like every single pick be like ring ring. Like,
Yeah, you're the
more
only
so
one who can do it.
realistic.
All right, I got you.
All right, here we go. Let's get this thing started. Let's get after it. I'm setting the draft off. It is now time for the Titans to select the future. And to
Can we zoom in a little bit, boys?
Wait, real quick, time out, 30 seconds. I got to do this for the people. The people want to pick. Should we get the chat Caleb's pick?
Let's do it.
Let's switch the order back to our normal order. It will be Lucas on the board first. It will be me. The chat will be picking third, and what we'll do is we'll let them put in a bunch of names, and whatever, let's say 3 that they put in the most, we'll put it in a poll real quick, and
whatever name we see the most of, we'll just go with that.
Yep, and then Jeff will be fourth.
All right,
so that is the third pick.
Klotzy's first.
Final one of the year, too, boys. This is exciting.
All right, chat. We'll everyone dial in. Let's get it. All right, Klotzy, you are up.
All right, boys. Not going to waste much time on this. Just going to circle the wagon a little bit. Told you he's going to be the best quarterback in college this year. Could be a top 5 pick. He's going to be a top 1 pick. Cam Ward, baby. University of Miami. No way that the Titans don't take him, in my opinion.
Cam,
there you
Cam,
go.
Where you at, Cam? There you are, Cam.
Hey, you know what, though? Maybe we should do members. Maybe because we got to give the members a little perk here.
Yeah,
we got to give the members.
How about we'll do this? Members get Caleb's pick. Everybody else they can get.
But then it's not special.
No, let's just do normal. Let's just let the chat pick. Let people get involved.
I agree with Boone.
I mean, what are we doing? Like, let's just let the.
They're buying memberships. I'm sure you got to give them. You know what I mean? You give them a perk.
I get it. I mean, they get perks, videos, and stuff. I get it, but I feel bad. Like, now we're just being like, buy a membership now if you want to participate in the draft.
Yeah.
I get it. We're selling,
but that's the point of the membership.
All right, we got a draft to do. What are we doing here?
Come on, boys.
Caleb's back, anyways.
Yeah, Boone, it would have been a perfect time to.
Then give.
He's back.
He's back. Well, there's the chat's still picking. The chat's still picking. I still think.
What up, boys? Am I good?
What we'll do is Caleb can be the chat if he can do that.
All right, Caleb, you are alive.
Okay, good. Everything's good.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, fellas.
I know.
Lost power.
Jeff was trying to he was trying to cut Malik out of the
I'm just saying.
I got you, Malik, but blue. I'm kidding. No, all right. Who's up? Is it me?
I don't know, but when you read the order off, I know I was first.
It's me. All right. Okay. Second pick. You can hit the chimes. This is an easy one.
All right.
I feel like 1-2 is easy. I might bet on it if it's good. With the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns will select Travis Hunter out of Colorado. Wide receiver. He's going to be wide receiver.
There you go. So who's third? I'm fourth. So the chat then gets Mike's pick, correct, at 5.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll do that. Works well. Good thinking.
I'm third.
Third, Caleb, don't do it. Don't do it, Caleb. Don't do it. No, Caleb, don't.
I might do it. No, I'm not going to do it. All right.
Chime.
Just ring the chime.
Let's go,
With
Caleb.
the third overall pick in the NFL Draft, the New York Giants select the best player in the draft, Abdul Carter.
Wow.
Kayvon Thibodeau, see you later. You're gone.
Wait, who has the 9th overall pick? I don't really know, but whoever has that pick is going to have a big decision.
So I do think at this pick the Patriots they gotta make this right now. I think the best pick for him. I mean, you invest in your investment. So they're taking an offensive lineman here. It's a smart move. I'm not going what I think or anything. The Patriots are selecting Will Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Right pick. Pick.
That's what they should do. I'm not going to go T-Mac and make it spicy.
Correct.
I'll do Will Campbell. All right, chat's up at 5. You guys select. What are we thinking, chat? Spam names. Okay, and whoever the most name that is spammed will be selected. And that's the truth. That is the truth. All right, we have 2 Masons, 3 Masons. And then we have 4 Masons. Okay, it looks like we're leaning towards a pick. 5 Masons. All right, pick is in. The chat selects Mason Graham to the Jags. All right, there you go. Love it. Chat knows ball. All right, we're in line here. Back up the pick.
All right, hold on. We gotta kind of reassess here, boys, now, because I don't know what teams I am moving forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, we should have.
Prep.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening right now. With
right,
all due respect,
It's not.
All right,
it's
boys.
Just
Let's do this. There's 4 of us now. Chat got their top 5 pick. Normal mock.
well,
right now.
Lucas, but like that was your pick, Lucas. So I
I know
don't know.
it is what it is, but let's just move now. Like, okay, 4 picks because it's gonna get all over the place.
Yeah, it's too much. It's
cool
not
there,
even.
boys?
Okay, so now I have
Yeah.
the Saints.
This is my pick
would
now.
have-
No, this is my pick now. Klotz, you lose your Jag. Were you going to pick Mason Graham anyways with the Jags?
I was gonna try to trade. Not gonna lie.
Will have no one
All right,
traded,
I'll lose my pick. We move, so it can get
All right.
reset.
and I'm just going to take Ashton Genty with the Raiders. I'm gonna go Ashton Genty. I don't know if you guys saw the press conference today. It was like Pete Carroll was like, "Don't say anything." When they asked about Ashton Genty, he looked at his GM and said, "Do not ask anything or say anything." So they're taking Ashton Genty.
Like a boom. Correct.
Now,
pick, though.
Caleb, you are on the clock.
Okay, yeah. Pick is in. With the 7th pick in the NFL draft, the Jets select Armand Mbow, tackle, Missouri.
Oh, should be Tyler Warren here, Caleb.
No,
You're making
that's the
wrong
greatest.
decision here.
That's the greatest pick Caleb has ever made
Thank you.
in a mock draft this year. Caleb, you
Thank you,
came in
Boone.
hot, swinging. Great pick, brother.
Thank you, Boone. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So I think
You almost lost that pick too. We got that pick back for you. The greatest pick
Yep.
you've ever made.
Hey, I appreciate
it's a
it.
great pick. It's a great pick.
FA, it's you now, I believe.
All right.
No, glad to hear that.
Who's calling? Who's
Boys,
calling?
hey, Boone, I need a quick confirmation check. Okay, do I own pick 17? I want to make sure that I do before I make this move.
Um,
I'm pick 1.
I honestly, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's you got to know that. I don't know.
Well, I just want to make sure so I'm not wasting our time here. I do my math wrong. Okay, okay.
I gotta go. You gotta know. You gotta know what picks you have.
I'm pick 17. I'm pick 17. All right. I'm Cincinnati. I'm calling up. Okay. You're fucked right now, Carolina. Okay. You made a massive mistake moving up in the draft, giving up that value, and not taking CJ Stroud. Okay. You're in a little bit of a fuck spot right now. This isn't a great draft to sit back in 8. Go ahead. Trade back to 17 here. Okay. You can get a DN there, high end DN, wide receivers on the board, lineman, anything you could possibly wish for. We need a guy now that can make a difference. Okay. Let us get up there. 17-8. Give you some picks now, give you some picks later. We'll discuss after, but I want to come up.
That's steep. That's pretty steep, man. 17. I mean, 9 picks back.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I don't know if my guy's going to be there. It's just that's the problem. I wouldn't mind to trade back. I'm not going that far back. I'm not.
And by the way,
Bonus
why would
hung
the
up.
Bengals why would the Bengals trade
Hanging
to the top
up.
10?
Yep, I'm hanging. I'm making
Hanging
the pick.
up.
I'm making the pick. The pick is in.
This is interesting. I'm interested with Jeff in this one.
Carolina Panthers are selecting at 8, and they are selecting Jalen Walker.
That's what I'm gonna
Wow.
Yep,
He did it.
that's what I think they'll do. Just go with
He
what-
did it.
Swallow the pride there, Hefe.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not
Hey,
gonna-
Juicy J, right here. Give me one.
there you go.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys know that I'm not to get political or anything, but you guys know that video. We did it, Joe. You know that video?
Oh,
That's what it felt like there.
All right.
who is it? Is it me now? Back on the
Klotz, you're
clock?
up. Yep, you were back.
Phone lines are open, boys. Phone lines are open. Anybody want to trade up? Anybody at all? Matter of fact, I believe I've picked 21 too. So I control a lot here in this draft. If you want a quarterback, you better make a move. All right, boys.
I don't know if I have a team that wants a quarterback, to be honest. Do
All
not.
right. Staying put. The pick is in. Jeff, hit the chime. With the 9th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Shadur Sanders, quarterback,
as
Colorado.
As he should.
Okay. Mardi Gras going to be a good time down there when they're winning more games. Won't be immediately, but hopefully Shadur Sanders can be to New Orleans what Andy Dalton was to Cincinnati. Got him to the playoffs. Got a Hall of Fame type of wide receiver career out of A.J. Green. Hopefully Shadur Sanders can do that in New Orleans for him. Kellen Moore gets himself a pocket passer, gives him a legitimate quarterback option of the future.
I mean, maybe he gets his jersey retired there too if he has like.
It only takes 2 or 3 seasons, Boone. Apparently,
yeah. Just throw for a lot of yards, don't win a lot of games, and hey, jerseys in the rafters, man.
Kyle McCord better have his jersey retired in Syracuse. Seth Hannigan at Memphis. Boone, you are now on the clock though with the Bears.
Yeah, that was funny, Klotz. You're a funny guy, man. All right. What do I want to do with the Bears here? This is a tough one because some guys are off the board. All right, pick is in. I'm gonna stay consistent. I'm gonna stay consistent on what I think they would do if the board fell like this. If their top 2 tackles are not there, and Ashton Genty's off the board, the Chicago Bears will be selecting tight end Tyler Warren.
Okay, Boone.
Hate this pick, man.
Okay, Boone.
It's Jeff. What did
I
you talk about before the? What did we talk about before the show? It's not what we like, but when we do these mocks, it's what
I don't even think they'll do this. If I'm being
everything is leading towards that. If those top 2 tackles are off the board, everything I've been seeing is the Bears are gonna they love Tyler Warren, and I hate it too. But again, when we do these mocks, me and you talked about it before the show, it's like we got to do what we think teams are gonna do, and this feels like all the rumors right now are swirling around. That's it.
Take a yeah. I mean,
Hey, this is what we're hearing, right?
Would anybody like to trade up to 11?
11.
I'm taking phone calls.
49ers?
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
What do I have left? 14.
Fighting demons here. I'm fighting demons.
Anyone?
I'm going to hold. I want to see how the board falls a little bit more.
All right, sweet. I got a guy.
I mean, that's how I got a hold of it and makes a phone call. That's unbelievable.
All right, let's hear it.
Cincinnati again. Just falling back 6 spots.
Mm-hmm.
You already have a shit ton of value. You fall back 6 spots, get more value. Trade back into the first. Come on, John. Apparently you got big nuts over there. You're not signing Brock Purdy yet. Do something about it.
Klotzy's negotiation tactic is to be incredibly mean. And I don't know how I like it.
It's nothing personal, Caleb. It's business.
Sounds
Or Mr.
personal.
Lynch, I should say.
Sounds personal.
Rest of them.
I'm
Who are you going to take here? Josh Simmons? The guy with the torn ACL?
I'm comfortable with that.
We're making a trade?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Come on. Stand up.
All right, what's the trade? Talk to me, boys.
11-17, Boone.
Scott, I can't see the Bengals making a trade, man. I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you why here, Boone.
Yeah. This is what Klotz would do, not what the Bengals would do.
Listen. I think that you could have some good argument in that, Boone. But I think the Bengals, if they did this, they're not crazy. Because you know what? Trey Hendrickson's out the window, okay? They just lost Sam Hubbard. They need an edge rusher. And this is why it's not a Klotz guy, Boone. But I think this is an NFL guy that GMs just love. And with the 11th pick in the NFL draft, they're not letting him fall. I think he goes top 15. Cincinnati Bengals select Shamar Stewart, defensive end, Texas A&M. They get in front of the Cowboys. They get in front of the Colts. They get in front of the Falcons. And the Niners, they get more value, but they need a defensive end. Like I said, I'm not a huge Shamar Stewart fan, but I believe there are a lot of NFL GMs that are. And I think that he goes high and early in this draft because that's going to be somebody's guy.
Okay. Jeff, this is one of those things, Jeff. And tell me if I'm wrong. Please, you could tell me, Jeff, if I'm wrong. This is such a klotzy move to be like all offseason long how much he hates Shamar Stewart.
Boom.
No, hold on.
It's what he thinks that will
He
happen.
thinks he'll do.
You know what I'm saying?
He does not believe. I have not seen anyone on this world draft Shamar Stewart top 12.
Have the Bengals met with him?
I took him top 10 yesterday to the
I
Bears.
know, and that's my
mock
point.
draft.
I said the same thing yesterday. You're setting yourself up to where if Shamar falls, you're going to be like, I told you he's not good. And then if
No.
he goes, you're going to be like, I told you teams loved him. I don't like that. That's all.
What I will say, if Shamar Stewart falls into the second round or late in the first, I'd be like, I did not think he was going to fall this far, but it doesn't shock me. Like, I thought a lot of NFL GMs would be higher. Obviously, they're not. I don't like Shamar Stewart. I've been very clear on that, especially in the first round. Second round, sign me all up for it. But I do believe that NFL GMs look at the combine, value that very highly, look at the tape. And again, this isn't a trigger word, Boone, but everybody has an ego and everybody thinks that they can fix situations out. And the Bengals need a lot of help on defense. They got Chris Jenkins last year. I don't think they go defensive interior. You can go Jihad Campbell and wait if you want to. But Shamar Stewart, some NFL GM is going to love the upside. Doesn't have to be the Bengals. But I got the Bengals at 17. I think it'd be a smart move for them if they're going to try to make a move for a defensive end. Wouldn't be shocked if that's who they go up and get.
All right. Jeff, you were up.
Yeah, this is going to be – I think this is – this is what I think they'll do. Then I'm just going to do it. The Dallas Cowboys with the 12th overall pick, selecting T-Mac, wide receiver.
Okay.
You're going to wait on a running back.
Don't hate it.
Mm-hmm. They'll get Judkins in the second round.
Like that.
And we'll be
CeeDee Lamb and Tet. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Would be Jake Ferg in the middle of them.
I like that pick, Jeff. I think they do end up just no matter what weapon in the first round.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right.
Caleb, I think you're up now.
Lucas, you were on the board.
Because we traded.
Oh, I forgot I just traded. That's my fault. All right. Give me a little scroll.
Guys too invested in Shamar Stewart over there. Your man can't stop thinking about him.
I'm opening up the phone lines. I'm opening them up. Anybody interested? A lot of good guys on the board still. A lot of good guys. Okay.
How interested are you moving back all the way to pick 23?
I got to get a phone line to ring. First.
I can't make the noise, but I can throw a phone. I'm not.
All right. Hello.
Hey, what's going on? It's the Green Bay Packers. I'd love to move up to 13.
Gunst. Yeah, we'll make a deal here. You're a sucker. All right. We'll go to 23. Come on.
All right, sounds good.
We need a lot. We have a lot of issues here, okay? So we'll move back to the draft.
Perfect. It's that easy.
13 to 23.
13 to 23.
Yeah.
Damn, the Dolphins just passed on Will Johnson right there.
They did.
That's tough.
They passed on a nice tackle. Forced trade.
Tough look, Caleb.
It's a good look.
Oh, I forgot to put that.
Hey, this is going to work out perfectly for the Dolphins, boys. Don't you worry. The Finns are going to be just fine.
All right, ring the chime. Easy pick here. With the 13th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers select Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan.
Yep, you just robbed him from the Dolphins. That's a steal.
Thank you, Klotz.
That's an unbelievable pick from the Packers. I'll tell you what, Caleb right now is absolutely.
Yeah, Caleb, you're dialed
touch me, I'm sizzling
in this draft.
He's sizzling right now.
Caleb is cooking. Caleb is just a dog food on Klotzy, as Klotzy says right now. That was a dog food.
You're worried about right now. I'm worried about pick 23, and I still got my guy.
Benji in the chat said it. Caleb for GM. I want that man as my GM. That's my first hire.
Caleb.
All right, who's up?
14 would be Boone.
Booner. That's me. I don't know why I said that myself, but all right, ring the chimes here. It's the 14th pick. The Colts will select Jihad Campbell, linebacker.
I like it.
Pick.
Here you go.
I think I had them a couple weeks ago and went Jihad. Defense, boys. That's all that matters on this team right now. Defense.
All right, I'm up. Ring the chime.
All right.
Easy again. With the 15th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select James Pierce, Tennessee.
Wow. Okay.
They met with them. I like that, Caleb. I took James Pierce in my mock draft there because they've met with him.
Yeah,
seems like they
met with him a bunch
might
of
like him.
times.
Yeah. Seems like that's if you're looking at an edge rusher, that might be the one that goes to the Falcons, in my opinion.
Cards. Jonathan Gannon. F.A., you're up.
All right, easy.
Please make this pick.
Cardinals are selecting Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's a player falling.
I can't trade again.
Your
Klotz,
pick.
this is your pick, bro.
I
This
traded.
is my
I
pick,
was
but
17.
I can't trade again.
You're the
I already-
49ers, aren't you, Klotz? or
Oh, no. it
I'm
was
the
Caleb.
49ers, but I
They
can't trade
swapped.
again. And I'm gonna.
I mean, Caleb, there is a
Yeah,
you better
staring
pick
right at
this
me.
right now.
You got a dog
type of
right
pick.
here.
Like you
You
better run to the. You could
gotta-
go 3 for 3 in this draft.
I
and be
don't.
one of
I
the
don't
greatest
think
players
that.
of
I
all
don't think
time.
this is the guy you guys are thinking of, but this is the guy I had in mind from the minute I saw I had San Fran.
All right.
Just saying.
Let's hear it
The
out.
pick's in.
Oh man,
The 17th overall pick in the NFL draft. The San Francisco 49ers select Walter Nolan, Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
Cool. I thought you were gonna go a different way. Yeah, we were all thinking Walter Nolan. Thank God.
Okay, cool.
That would have been an air ball if you didn't. You would have went 2 for 2 and then a cold 2 for 3. It
So
would've
is this
went
me
from
now?
100% to 66 fast. Yes, Boone, correct.
all right. This is me. All right. Ooh, I like this. Hello. This is going to be interesting to me, boys. I'm thinking. Who did I take in my mock with the Seahawks?
You took
Matthew
Matthew Golden.
I want to go
and
wide
you
receiver.
didn't like that. You didn't like that.
All right. Ring the bell. With the 18th pick, 2024 NFL draft, the Seahawks get Mike Green.
Oh,
Edge.
damn. I was hoping he was going to be there next pick. Good pick, Boone.
Thank you.
There you go.
I'll make this quick and easy. Pick is in. With the 19th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Donovan Izaraku, Boston College.
Oh.
All right, I'll make this really.
Toes.
I'll make this really quick. The
This is going good here, boys.
We're cruising.
the Denver
Flying now.
Broncos are
Oh,
selecting
I know who he's going with.
Amari and Hampton, running back.
I love that pick, man. I
Great
love
pick.
that pick.
Come on, Hefe. We're taking strides here. All
That's
right.
a good pick, Jeff.
Yeah.
Ring the,
I'm going
ring
to say
the-
this.
Oh wait,
before-
actually no. Players are gone. Scroll down. Actually no. Ring the.
There's
Go
actually a
ahead.
really good pick
chime,
here,
chime,
Klotz.
chime. With the 21st overall pick in the 2025 draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jade Barron, Nickelback, Texas.
No Jackson Dart.
Nope.
Right.
Name me. They got Minka. Name me their other safety / Nickelback. Bone. You got Joe Burr, Lamar Jackson, Cleveland's dog water, but you're in the AFC. You got to have a good secondary, create turnovers. Front seven's good. but I
Interesting
think
one.
that's
I just
a good
haven't
pick.
seen it yet. You don't have to explain.
Yeah, I
yourself
haven't either,
that
but I
much.
think it. Like looking at it, it's a good pick.
Who's next on the board here? Oh, this is me again. All right, ring it. The 22nd pick, the Chargers are selecting Emeka Ibuka, wide receiver.
There you
I
go.
was clown. Pick is in. We fell 10 spots and our guy's still there. Ring the chime. Yeah, you could have Will Johnson, but Will Johnson does no good when Tua's on the edge of medical retirement. With the 23rd overall pick, the Miami Dolphins select Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State.
All right. Is this me or Caleb? Is this me?
Yes. I would have been the Klotzy's pick.
All right. The Minnesota Vikings are selecting Malachi Starks to replace Cam Bynum.
Like that. Chime. Houston Texans select Calvin Baines, offensive tackle, Texas.
Great pick. Chime. Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan.
Like it.
I haven't seen this,
This
yet.
is
All right,
gonna
I'm
get
do it.
interesting here.
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna.
Jeff
I mean, we're
Iafrate.
going.
I'll tell you what, Jeff's gonna have some choices at 28.
This
yeah.
guy hasn't been taken yet. All right, pick is in. With the 27th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Mykel Williams, edge, Georgia.
Mykel's
pick.
still there.
Yeah, I
What
couldn't
a
believe
pick.
it.
Not a lot of edges. Not a lot of edges have gone off the board, to be honest.
All right, so
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
this is a crime.
no, this I'm doing the chat the due diligence. They're selecting the Lions pick. So show the picks. So these are the names: Burden, Golden, Omar, Norman, Lott, Gray, Zabel. I mean, yeah, so the chat, put in the name you want for the
let's hear it.
This is a disaster, boys.
Yeah, I mean, go down
I
a
would
little
win
bit.
Mykel at 21 if I.
Yeah, we could do a poll. We could do. We should throw like honestly, we should throw Gray Zabel, Matthew Golden.
Should we allow them to trade back?
I see Zabel, Harmon, couple Zabels. I see Benji said Harmon, just a couple trade backs.
I don't know if we trade out of the first round if anyone wants to trade. I just don't know. Let's just make a pick so we can see who the people
I'll
think.
trade back up if I'm allowed to.
Let's see. I see a lot of Zabels, so it seems like if they're going to make a pick, it's going to be Gray Zabel. It's Gray Zabel or trade down. So I mean, if we're staying put, Gray Zabel. The chat selects with that.
Hey, of course, Klotz just in the distance.
There you go.
The guy is
trying to make a move
right there.
This guy is obsessed.
Yeah, Lions fans are pissed that Mykel went a pick before them, but they're taking Zabel. That's a good pick, chat. It's a good pick. Happy with that one.
Running up to the board naked currently. Not an inch of clothing, not an article of clothing on. And we're even looped up, boys, because we're getting Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas at 29th overall to pair with Jaden Daniels for the next decade.
Ooh. Nasty.
All right, hit the chime for me, please, with the Bills. The Buffalo Bills. That is unbelievable, man. What are we doing? Select Maxwell Harrison, corner, Kentucky.
I like the pick. It's just the noise Jeff made. He really didn't like it. All right, pick is in. With the 31st overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Tyler Booker, offensive lineman, Alabama.
It's insane you just passed up on Josh Connolly. I can't explain in how many words.
Derek
I'm
Harmon.
a Booker guy. I'm a Booker guy.
Good pick. I like Booker too.
Derek Harmon. They'll find out. All right, this one's easy, and the boys made a grave mistake letting this player fall. Oh, the Eagles are selecting Trey Amos, the best corner. One of the best corners in the draft. Him or Will.
I was about to say what?
He's him or Will. He'll be the best. He'll be one of the best corners. Him or Will.
Not Travis.
Well, I don't know how you really classify him. He might. I don't know. He might play a couple snaps at corner. I don't really know what he's
better
doing.
draft pick than Shadur in the top 3. That's how you classify him.
Yeah. So there's the first round. I would say looks a lot prettier than the past ones. So
yeah, the only one that I like is a sore on the eyes. I think is Mykel at 27. But I mean, hey, every year there's somebody that falls you don't expect. So maybe it's Mykel.
I mean, we had Matthew Golden at 29. So,
yeah, that's the shocking one. I think more. I mean, I could actually hand up.
Jackson Dart's.
I didn't know Matthew Golden. And I think there's a chance that Mykel Buka ends up being better than Matthew Golden. I think he's that good. Yeah. I didn't see Matthew Golden even on the board. Where in my mind with the Chargers at 22, I didn't even think Matthew Golden. There's something about Mykel Buka to me to where I'm like, this kid's going to be. There's a chance he ends up being the best receiver in this draft class. There's a chance, and I think a team there's going to be a team that I think Mykel could end up getting picked before T-Mac or Matthew Golden, one of the two, not both. But there's a chance one of those fall, and a team just falls in love with him.
If like let's say Harbaugh wants a defensive lineman, he's gone. If I had to pick, like I would be willing to bet if anybody has a Mykel Buka as a wide receiver one in this draft class is Jim Harbaugh. I mean, like I said, he went 9 for 150 on him as a true freshman against Michigan. Like if anybody knows what it's about, it's Jim Harbaugh. So I love that pick.
And a lot of people too. And there's one thing that I know a lot of people think Colston Loveland to the Chargers is just an easy thing because of Jim. Like, and yes, I think there's a really good chance he goes there because they need a tight, like they could use another weapon. Everyone was saying the same thing last year because the Chargers needed a running back for Blake Corum in like the second round, and guess what happened? Skipped right over him, didn't even consider him, and Blake ends up going to the Rams. So. I mean, I could be wrong on how that all ended up lining up, but I don't even know if he made it to him. But it just, to me, it's just like I don't think Jim's sitting there being like, I need my Michigan guys.
Yeah. And it's like if you want to target to help out Justin Herbert, why are you drafting a tight end that's a receiving? If you're drafting Colston Loveland, it's because he's a receiving tight end.
Yeah.
At that point, why don't you draft a Mecca Buka who's a wide receiver in the slot? Like him and Ladd in the slot on both sides. Good fucking luck. Caleb, you love Ladd. Like imagine him and a Buka.
Yeah, they just moved off of those top, moved off of Keenan Allen and
Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, they moved on from everyone. All of their weapons, they basically moved on last year. So it's like at some point, if you have a chance to get a legit wide receiver, you snag them, especially Abuka or Matthew Golden.
Hey, good show today, fellas. Appreciate you all. As always, appreciate Eric joining the show as well. We'll be live tomorrow. Don't forget, Pistons game. We'll be live, honestly, around 5-ish. We'll go live, talk about the game, then watch the game. So be there tomorrow. If you're watching the game, coming out with the fellas, man, it'll be a good time. But until then, appreciate you
guys.
Peace.
Tyler Warren to the Jets.